Hello and welcome to Black Dragon Gaming. My name is Katega0, but all my friends call me Cat, and you can too. Today is Weeb Wednesday with Mal. We're going to
Yes,
talk
we're.
about Ranma, Demon Lord 2099, All Guys Mixer, and more.
Yep. But those will be the main three for a bit.
Yeah, because we have limited time with which to watch these shows every week. Okay.
Yeah, really. uh, I will say, if you need to give a very loud "fuck this world," you have my permission to. Just any audience members.
Yeah.
We've all had our
Just
private "fuck this."
yeah, we've all done that, or at least I have.
Yeah.
I can say that I wish that like Death Notes or some shit were real, because I don't think I could stop myself from using them.
Oh, absolutely not. They're
Like I was talking about it with like Rhett and Cheddar very early this morning. But like, if there was an actual heart attack gun and not like some fucking dart gun that shoots, poison that causes heart attacks, I would be all over that shit.
yeah, we were talking about that.
You'd be seeing people just like fucking having their hearts just like literally explode. Not they would not have a heart attack. I mean, their hearts would pop like a balloon on live TV all the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm the kind of person that you don't want to have a death note. All right, that's what I'm trying to say here.
A little bit, but at least you, generally speaking, I don't think you'd fall to the god complex that Light does.
That's true, because like, personally speaking, I don't consider it my own abilities or power if it's a tool that I am using.
I mean, there's that for a start, but also just
like, if I could just do that on my own without a tool or a death note or whatever, sure, yeah, I might become a god, but that's because that's like my own personal power at that point, right? Like, it's
yeah. Basically, you know when somebody's being cringe. Light You Got Me is cringe.
like, you can just like fucking lose that thing, and then like suddenly you don't have that power anymore. That just makes it not your power. That makes it borrowed. I've always been annoyed with borrowed power.
Yeah, that's fair in and of itself. Let's see. Not too much news since Monday. Other than,
I mean,
obvious, country news in the United States, but otherwise not much.
yeah, I mean, same for me. But like,
Yeah.
I didn't really do anything yesterday. And Nate wanted to take the day off because like the work was fucking exhausting yesterday.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'll just fucking stare at the wall.
Yeah, that's
what
fair.
I did. I didn't actually just like stare at the wall. I did do a couple things, but it's not anything worth talking about.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, starting in with All Guys Mixer, since that was the new one to me, I knew I was going to like it, because that's already a gender-fucky premise, but it's really good. Like, I like all the characters.
It's very good. I really like all of the girls, genuinely.
Yeah, like, I thought I might not end up liking Suo, but no.
No,
they're
Suo was
good.
great. It's like as much as I gush about Fuji whenever I'm watching the episodes, she's not actually my favorite. None of them are my favorite. I like them all so much.
Yeah, that's fair. I do like all three of them pretty well. Out of the guys, I think I like all of them okay. But, well, first off, I need to remember names.
Okiwa, Hagi, and Asagi?
Yes.
Something like that?
Yes, that's it. Yeah. Out of those, I'm not that interested in Huggy.
Yeah, I'm mostly like, I mostly find his bioawakening to be very funny.
I mean, yeah.
But aside from that, he's just like a guy.
Yeah.
Which is, you know.
Yeah, he's just kind of a guy.
You're okay, Phoenix.
Man to you, Phoenix. Man to you.
Yeah. He thinks I'm talking to him because I'm talking out loud, as he usually do.
Fucker. Yep. So I watched the first 2 episodes, which the first gives us an intro to the premise and their kind of first outing together.
Yeah, for anyone who didn't look it up when we told you to last week, it's a guy gets invited to a mixer by a girl from his college. So he brings his friends, and when he arrives, when they all arrive, all they see is just like 3 hot guys instead.
Yeah, like
the actual thing is like they work in a drag king bar and came after work.
Yep.
So they didn't have time to like dress up as, women again.
Yeah, exactly. They just kind of went in their outfits, though I don't 100% buy that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, like I can buy it the first time, but they pulled this again. At least Suo does.
Although, okay, Suo is the only one that I think would actually do something like that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And it's specifically because, like, I can't say much because there's stuff that's coming after what you've seen.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's like fucking 5 or 6 episodes out right now. So.
Yeah.
Shut up, Phoenix! Get off my footrest, fucker!
Yeah, I can absolutely 100% like... Yeah.
She's the gremlin type, right?
Yeah, she's the fucking gremlin who absolutely would do that on purpose.
Like whereas Kohaku and Fuji are... It's definitely like just a job for Kohaku, especially because she's the new girl, as we saw in episode 2.
Yeah.
And Fuji, I think, mostly does not give a singular shit.
Yeah, just does not give a fuck. Other than material.
And at least about like how she's dressing anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, honestly, seeing the opening, which actually does have all 3 girls with their hair down, I think Fuji is the one who changes the least.
Yeah. Like, the other 2 girls at least change their fucking hairstyle. Nah, Fuji just puts on a colored wig over top.
Yep.
That's it. That's all she does. It's the same hairstyle even. It's just a different color.
Yep. And it's not even fully covering.
She just adds a second layer of color to the top. That's all. It's just hilarious.
Yes, exactly. Because at least for Fuji and Kohaku, it's, we're letting our hair down. There's actually more hair here than we let on.
Yeah, somehow. I don't know how Suo has a ponytail with what we see in when she's in her masculine clothes, but she does have a ponytail somehow, some fucking way.
Yeah, and honestly, they still look like non-binary ghosts like that, because obviously the front of the hair doesn't change at all.
Yeah, because like those 2 aren't wearing wigs. Somehow. I don't understand, but somehow they're not wearing wigs.
Yeah, somehow they're not. Like, that is some tucking skills. Of a different variety than we're usually talking about.
It's fucking like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the mechanics of it in my brain now, and I don't know. I don't get it.
I really don't know. Like, Kohaku, maybe I could picture it, but Suo, not really.
Yeah, because her hair is long enough to like come down over her shoulder, right?
Yeah, there's that part, and there's the fact of how short her hair is, so there's not a lot of places to hide a braid.
Yeah. In fact, hold on a second. Let me change the cover image to this. Yeah, so everyone can see these characters now. The one in the middle is Suo. The one on the right, beside my avatar, there is Kohaku, and the one on the left is Fuji.
Link that one to me on Discord.
I'm gonna actually have to send you the actual image.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna have to download the image anyway. Right, 1 minute. There
My
you go.
favorite of the guys is definitely Asagi because
Oh yeah,
he's just a
Asaki.
big dumb idiot baby, and I love him so much.
Yeah, like he is just happy to be here. Hagi needs, or not Hagi. Or yeah, no, Hagi. He needs to go through more of his bi awakening before I'd be interested in him.
Yeah, and honestly, I think Kohaku and Hagi have been the ones who've gotten the least screen time so far.
Yeah.
So I'm absolutely 100% with you on that. Like they need a little more, please.
Yes, they
But that's
need.
fine because like each of the episodes has been like largely focusing on just one of the three pairs, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Which is fine. Yeah, that part's fine. It's just they definitely need their episodes to really flesh them out. So yeah, like you can say that the whole thing is straight, but it's also gay as fuck.
Oh yeah, it's the gayest straight shit you'll ever see, which is good.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
very good.
So, uh, some of that
Yeah.
can carry forward to, uh, like things queer people do actually experience. Like there are certain kind of photo booths in Japan which men cannot go into, and
Yeah.
while Suo, uh, sees herself as a woman, she realizes I'm presenting male. I can't go in there because it would just cause problems for the staff and customers. And really,
Yeah.
mainly in that
Because like
scenario,
they don't know.
yeah,
They don't know what's
and
going on there.
yeah, and mainly in that scenario, I care about the staff because it's their job to make sure that a random guy isn't wandering into there. But it still kind of, sucks that there's these gendered concepts to begin with.
Like that wouldn't be a problem with those photo booths if there weren't a lot of motherfuckers that were weird and violate privacy a lot.
Yeah, that's true enough.
So like this is just straight up an issue with like people not being good to each other, and then that having a knock-on effect, like an unintended knock-on effect for people like us.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't really know how to fix that other than having at least one photo area that's just for everybody. Like a secondary photo area. So there's
Yeah,
the,
I have no idea. I don't know, like maybe bring back ye old like thieves get their hands cut off, but instead of thieves, it's like gropers. Gropers get their hands cut off. I don't know. It's probably way too brutal, but
it is understandable, but probably wouldn't actually fix the
yeah,
problem. It would
that
just,
would not actually do anything.
yeah. But I definitely understand the impulse, because fuck that.
Yeah, it's like it didn't stop thievery either. Like
Yeah,
it's not gonna stop anything. Stuff
yeah,
like this doesn't stop shit. It just like
yeah,
is
like
applied unevenly.
the real thing is like actual proper education and a cultural shift. Because it's, in a lot of cultures, I'm not just talking about Japanese culture here, because I don't want to be a foreigner just bashing somebody else's culture, though there are some specific things, fuck you, in Japan. That's not what I'm going over here. But, the, oh, ha ha, casual, ogling is funny.
Catcalling is harmless, etc., etc. No, it's not. No, it's
Yeah.
not. It's not.
Yeah, it really, really isn't. And the only thing you have to do to fix it, the only thing, is have it be mutual. Like, if you had, for example, just as an offset, have the cast of All Guys Mixer go to a hot spring and have both sides be like, maybe I should look in there. And they don't even have to do it. But at least it's not quite as bad, because they're both peers. They obviously have interest in each other. So you could make that gag work depending on the situation. At least in my opinion. But the problem is, every time there's... Well, okay, it's getting a little better now, but almost every time you have a woman there for eye candy, she's not into it. Like, there's this...
I think Fuji would be the most likely to try and take a peek.
Yes, absolutely, Fuji would be the one to try and take a peek.
And it wouldn't even be like perverted for her. She'd be like, I need reference material.
Yeah, that is true.
Suo would do it for perverted reasons, but she's also less likely to do it at all.
Yeah, she's less likely to do it at all, though she is the type to threaten it.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuji, on the other hand, I don't think she has a concept of boundaries when she's in like reference gathering mode.
Absolutely not. This woman is absolutely, like, I'm claiming her for the autistic community.
She's like a one-track mind whenever she gets in, like whenever she sees something that will make for good reference, she just goes for it.
Like binding up.
And then like when someone brings it up to her later, she's just like, "Oh fuck." But for the moment, she's just like,
yeah, like binding
Asagi.
Yeah, binding Asagi's wrists together just because
they did that in public too.
Yep, just in a fucking restaurant. And people are just staring like, what the fuck am I looking at?
All the ladies, of course, are blushing because apparently every woman in this thing is Fujoshi, so.
It's pretty common among women, I've found.
I'm just
at least
among
among
like
straight
all
women.
of them in this fucking in this anime are Fujoshi. Apparently, all of them, every single one.
Yeah. Let's see. What else was I? But yeah, there's this kind of double standard, like, purity thing that goes into a lot of anime gags where...
Fucking, I hate that.
Yeah, where the woman has to be eye candy for consumption, but she also has to indicate that she is 100% not into it. Which is weird. Like, there's no other way to put it.
Yeah, like, that's the part that puts me off of it. Like, really. Is I don't mind sexy characters. I love sexy characters. I draw sexy characters all the time.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah.
But I don't make the characters not like it, right?
Yeah, like, give me Blair from Soul Eater. I don't know if you've watched Soul Eater, actually.
I have, but it's been a very long time, and I don't remember the character.
Exceedingly horny cat lady.
Oh yeah, I recognize this face.
Yeah. But she's 100% into what she's doing. hell, at the end of the manga, there's a very big indication that she just kind of hops on both characters.
I mean, fair enough. Bicon.
Yeah, exactly. Bicon.
That does like lead into something that I did find annoying about this episode of Ranma,
Ah, yes.
which I said in Discord at like when I saw it too. But it's Ranma getting blamed and called a pervert for like just trying to keep Ryoga from literally sleeping in the same bed as Akane without Akane knowing.
That he's actually, well, who he says he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know Ranma could have solved it by telling her what was going on with Ryoga, but he like Ranma's trying to be
Like,
at least
actually,
somewhat honorable to Ryoga.
and
But
yeah.
I don't know. That goes out the window when you try to take advantage of something like that. To me.
Yeah,
Like,
more than a
you
little
don't, you don't
bit.
get that courtesy anymore. Like once you try to like sleep with a girl without her knowing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the more unfortunate things. Ryoga won't be like this for too long.
That's good.
You know,
Someone please give this man some character development and some punishment for his past actions.
yeah, like, admittedly, like, it goes a bit for a while where they do still think of, like, most people think of Ryoga and Pichan, as Akane ends up calling him, as two separate people, two separate characters. But it also ends up with Ryoga getting kidnapped by somebody who doesn't know. Kidnapped, I guess.
Fucking womp womp.
So there is that.
That's what you get for trying to take advantage of it, nerd.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Ryoga's gonna want to eventually turn back and be a normal ass person. Like, that's the whole point, is he doesn't like being a pig who can't talk.
Yeah. It's actually kind of funny that Ryoga's situation actually is Ranma's fault, but neither of them even knew that, so Ryoga was just holding a stupid grudge for stupid reasons.
Yeah, because his grudge was, I went to look for you, then I ended up getting thrown into the spring. But it wasn't until Ranma stated, until the fucking penny dropped when they were having this conversation, that Ryoga realized that Ranma was the girl who ran into him and caused him to fall in the first place.
Yeah. Which is just... You should have just stayed in Japan, Ryoga. I'm not going to say that Ranma doesn't have any fault here, but buddy, you did something dumb here. You chased a high school kid across country lines to have a fight with him because you were late and you got lost on a 500-meter walk.
Yeah, you know what I call that? Stalking.
Yeah. Fucking... Like, literally just, like, stalking a dude across state lines to try and punch him in the head. Like,
seriously. And, like, how much fucking vacation or school time did you miss?
I mean, presumably it was, like, somewhere in the summer, right?
Yeah.
When they didn't have school.
But also, Ryoga is chronically getting lost. So, it probably took him twice as long, if not 3 times as long, as Ranma. At least getting there.
And definitely to get back, because, like, Ranma's already been back for weeks by now.
Yeah. But yeah, that whole mistaken pervert thing is not my favorite bit.
Yeah, it's not fun. Like, Sure, it was funny the first 2 times, but then like not after the next 2,000.
Yeah.
You know,
I do appreciate that sometimes Ranma does, earn the abuse he gets, because, like, he goes, oh, that's not your color of underwear. He didn't intend to be knocked under a Kane, but he's gonna make a joke while he's down there. And for that, he gets
cracking
punted.
the joke part absolutely does deserve a bonk. Also, I need another capture link because it exploded. It died.
Alrighty. Do not know why it does this thing.
I don't either.
But yeah, like, I've already harped before about how much I dislike how Persona 5 does the whole, put the girl in a sexy outfit, but she doesn't like it. But it's also the manifestation of her power of rebellion. So yeah, I'm like, those things do not go together.
Yeah, it bothers me a lot. There's also, and this is more generalized to anime in general, and not Ranma or these other like queerish things. Shut up, Phoenix. No, I also don't like the trope of the tomboy is secretly into feminine things.
Yeah,
because like, let's put it this way: who the fuck expects a tomboy to not like anything girly at all or bashes her for it? It's the other way around. Whenever girls like boyish things, they get like abuse for it.
Yeah, really. Yeah, it really doesn't have that much of a problem.
Like you can say that like for example, magical girl stuff is all about embracing femininity and all that stuff, but like when you also have the tomboy do it, it smacks of just like forcing girls into a certain box, and I fucking hate it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where, like, a lot of times you will have a Gyaru or some sort of other Japanese alt girl in a romance, and by the end of it, she stops being Gyaru or alt.
Yeah, which is fucking ridiculous. It's the same thing with like that. We also had this trouble with rom-coms in the early 2000s, where like the so-called ugly girl would put on makeup and suddenly she's the most beautiful thing in the world when she was perfectly fucking fine before. She was very pretty before. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
maybe didn't have the best, fucking fashion choices, like not popular at least, but like they worked still.
Yeah,
because it's a fucking Hollywood actor. They're not gonna actually put her in anything that looks bad.
Yeah, not seriously, like actually bad. What's that fucking show? But there's one of those shows that's one of those makeover shows. And
there's a lot of those.
Yeah, it was one of those makeover specifically about clothing, usually. Cannot think. What not to wear, that's it. And I will never forget this particular episode, because one of the person on that episode was into Lolita fashion.
Okay.
And they're like, oh no, this isn't fashionable at all. You need to get rid of all of these. And started putting multi-$1,000 dresses in the trash bag.
Oh no.
Because that's what they do on this fucking show.
I hate that. I hate that so much. Like, you don't wear Gothic Lolita to like go shopping. That's not what it's for.
Well, admittedly, I think
you can. Like, yeah. I know people who would, but that's because we're all fucking lunatics and we are willing to like get dressed for an hour.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. When
I
we
get it.
say when we say it's not what it's for, I mean, do you have the spoons and or spell slots to actually do that for your grocery shopping too? Not
Yeah, like
you
most
cannot
people
do
don't do
this.
that because they're just gonna throw some fucking like some jeans or sweatpants and a t-shirt on to go grocery shopping because all you want is the food. Sometimes though, you do want to get dressed up, and that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. So just making that clear. But yeah, that sucked. The other
I
one,
think if someone started throwing away multiple thousands of dollars of clothes that I had in front of me, I might kill them.
yeah, that's a
I
fair
might strangle
response.
them with their own like socks.
Yeah, in her case, she started crying, obviously, because she's surrounded by cameras with these two people telling her clothes suck, putting them in, admittedly, like a clean trash can. She could absolutely just get those back.
Yeah, but I can guarantee you they were not careful about putting it in there.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like some of that lace is going to be torn.
Yeah, yeah. But at the very least, on camera, they're like, okay, let's pull out some of these and like see how we can make them work. So there's that at least, but no, fucking hate that. Another one was a fucking drag queen who liked wearing drag queen shit, and they put them into a goddamn suit.
I no, don't do that.
Yeah, this was early 2000s,
Okay,
of course, but
so like
goddamn.
let's for anyone's information that may be listening, if you think that a drag queen doesn't like can't afford a suit, you're wrong.
Yeah,
Those dresses are far more expensive than jeans and a t-shirt like I wear, okay?
yeah, like, and it was all
If that
set.
drag queen wanted a suit, he could get a suit.
Yeah, and the whole thing was centered around, oh, his mom wants to see him all manly like. And just, I thought it was weird when I saw the episode. I thought it was weirder now.
Yeah, that's just I don't know. That's that's real fucking weird. I don't like that.
Yeah, don't like that at all. But yeah,
Oh my god, it's the captioner died again.
fucking captioner. Um,
I don't like what is this? Why does it do this? Help.
yeah, Pixel Chat, I think you can do better than this. Come on.
It's weird because you still see these things happen in gay romance manga and anime and all that. Where like the so-called ugly girl gets like puts on makeup and suddenly she's the most beautiful girl in the school, or like the alt girl gets like normified.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
so fucking stupid. It's so ridiculous.
yeah. Also, I'm going to out myself for the kind of material I look at. What I really don't get is why are you looking at, for example, a porn with a Gyaru character or an alt character, and then making her not Gyaru or not alt at the end?
Yeah, that's a good fucking question. Like these characters are so much more rare archetypes at both like in real life and in fiction. Why are you changing them to be normal, like so-called normal? Like,
Yeah,
come on, stop it.
you're making them less interesting,
You're making them not them.
and also not them, which is the important part. But also, like for a character, not interesting.
Yeah, okay. Like for like one thing, it's like what? Why are you attracted to the character if you want to change everything about the character's appearance anyway? It's a
Yeah.
character. And so, like, that's one thing. If you're attracted to their design, why would you want to change it? If you're attracted to their personality, why would you want to change them to not be alt? Being alt is part of your personality.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just,
Like, you can tell how I dress and how I look by, like, who I am. You can tell.
yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's just, I don't get it. So, to round it out of the things that we're actively watching before we continue our tirades, Demon Lord 2099.
Some
Good
good shit.
Yeah, that,
Yeah, it's a really good third episode. The fourth episode airs on Saturday. For anyone wondering, I keep track of it because I really like this one.
yeah, absolutely. Demon Lord 2099 is the best reverse isekai I've seen. And it's not
At
even
least
a
animated
reverse.
so far.
And it's not even reverse isekai, or technically, just because it is a
It
merging of
is,
the
but
two worlds.
it's yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's a weird
Although that
categorically.
does typically fall under reverse isekai, so because
Yeah,
like even solo leveling falls under reverse isekai for most people, right? Because it's magical monsters coming from another world into ours.
yeah,
The
because
main character is not reverse isekai, but he's dealing with the consequences of a reverse isekai.
yeah, because as far as I know, the portals don't actually lead to in solo leveling don't lead to their home, right? Like that's more of a staging area for them to then come to Earth, right?
I don't remember the exact metaphysics and what is going on, but I do know that they are the real creatures from those worlds.
Yeah, like 100% they are from those worlds. Like they are actual beings. It's just communication has been hard. Because what?
It's less that communication is hard and more that it's impossible because there is a system that is controlling them. There is a monster-specific system,
Hmm.
which is why it's weird that Zhongwu can even understand them in the first place.
Gotcha.
Because no one else can actually understand what the fuck they're saying. And even though he can understand them, they still don't have like free reign to talk freely. They're still being like mind controlled.
Got you. Because I've seen some part of that, but not the whole thing.
This is all stuff that will probably be revealed in like the first couple of episodes of the second core. So, like, I have no problem saying that stuff. This is just like background information that does not, it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter that much.
But
I
yeah,
think, personally,
in general, Demon Lord 2099 is the best in that class of sort of reverse isekai.
yeah, it's fantastic.
Because-
Which, like, I think reverse isekai is a criminally underused genre in the first place.
Yeah, like it's a underused genre in the first place. Honestly, I'd almost.
There's also Dead Mount Death Play, or Death Mount Dead Play, something like that. I'd never watched the second course of it, but I do want to get back to that.
Yeah.
That's also a reverse isekai.
Yeah, I'll
and it's
have
also
to check
quite
that.
good.
Yeah.
It's more of a comedy than Demon Lord 2099, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah, honestly, thinking about it, I think this would actually be its own thing of a world merge isekai.
Yeah, I potentially.
Like, it would have to be constructed into an actual subgenre, but I think it does class
And codified, yeah.
Yeah, but it does kind of class as its own thing, because Earth and the other world that I cannot remember its name got merged rather than simply, one population going to the other.
Yeah. It's difficult because like I think I would have to sit down and analyze a whole bunch of isekai and reverse isekai to find like to really have a proper discussion on it. But it does still feel to me like isekai, not just sci-fi urban fantasy.
Yeah. Though
It's not like it is still cyberpunk, don't get me wrong. It's still cyberpunk in the same way that Shadowrun is. But it's not.
Well, it's kind of like if in Shadowrun you had an ancient dragon that was sleeping since before before fantasy came back to the world.
They do. Like that's actually what happens. Because like when magic goes away in Shadowrun, because it's on a cycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
They call this like the worlds, like the fifth world, the sixth world, the seventh world, so on and so forth. The fifth world is what we're in right now, according to Shadowrun. Like it's no magic, or at least if there is magic, it's very, very rare. The sixth world is when the magic comes back, and so the fourth world also had magic, but the third one didn't, and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
It comes and goes in a cycle, sort of like a heartbeat of the world itself.
yeah. So basically, what I'm saying is a dragon has been slumbering, and we're already in the fifth or sixth world.
And they're from, say, the third or what have you.
Yeah, exactly. And then just woke up.
That is actually possible. I don't know if that's actually happened in Shadowrun, but it is possible for that to happen.
Yeah, I figured. So that's why I kind of went.
That may actually have happened to some vampires or some of the elves, even.
Yeah, like that's probably possible. Which is why I brought it up, because that's basically what happened to Veltal.
Yeah, pretty much. Just to let me like nerd out for about 30 seconds.
Yep.
The immortal elves in Shadowrun are elves that were born during times of great, like, huge magic surge.
Mm.
And when magic first came back in, at least like a couple of years after it first came back in the sixth world, like the start of the sixth world counts as one of those huge magic surges. So some of the elves who were born at the beginning of the sixth world are also immortal elves. They just don't know it yet because it's only been like 60 years.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, I've met elves that aren't immortal, and I haven't gotten that old yet to think.
Yeah. It was like they don't even know exactly how long non-immortal elves will live in Shadowrun yet because it hasn't been long enough. Like you can sort of sequence the DNA and like figure out like a general range, just like you can with humans.
Yeah.
But like that's not very accurate because like science says we can live up to 150 years old. That shit's not happening though.
Yeah.
That's absolutely not happening. Like the oldest people in the world are like 120.
Yeah, there's enough variables going on there that we have not cracked yet.
Yeah. Anyhow, yeah.
So
it's great seeing Veltol with actually some amount of power.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
like I said, like on the first time we did this for Demon Lord 2099 and was talking to you about in the Discord, it seems like his casting speed was not his only benefit. Like that was not his only advantage, and he's starting to show that off.
Yeah, absolutely. Like clearly he has A, the power, and B, the experience.
Yeah, like the raw power of his spells is like absurd now.
Yeah, and he's not even close to done, because that's just 1 million people.
Which, like, for a medieval society is a lot, but not nearly as much as what Veltol would have had because they knew his name around the entire world.
Yep, exactly. So probably he needs to get like the entire city to know his name kind of deal.
I would bet like in multiple cities to match up.
Yeah, possibly.
Because and like that also says a lot about the hero's strength too, being able to like if Veltol is already this strong with just 1 million followers, imagine what he was like when he had the entire world knowing his name and the hero still fucking beat him.
Yep, the hero still clutched it out. So that says a lot.
The hero acknowledged that it was a close fight and everything, but still.
Yeah, like
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, the hero and that goddess. Like, I want to know more about that goddess.
Yeah, I want to know more about the pantheons and the divinities of the world, genuinely. And I'm sure we'll get to know more. I want it now.
Yeah, like, what's going on? Can we kind of negotiate some power brokering here? Because holy shit, some of the reveals in this episode which
Yeah, the fact that the immortals are being used as literal fucking fuel for the
yep,
city.
the immortals are living, endless batteries.
Well, quote unquote endless, because they apparently do die or run out after a while, but it takes a very long time.
Yeah. And I have a feeling that the information broker knew Veltal woke up.
I would not be surprised, but it's great seeing his face again because that was the guy that was the hobo in episode 2.
Yep. Like, I think he knew that was. He might have known that was Veltal, even. Like, maybe realized later, like, wait, that motherfucker's face looks familiar. Let me look at my records.
Maybe I don't know for certain, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did know that Veltol woke
Yeah.
up. Whether or not he knew that was Veltol, ow.
So, brief summary of what happened. We go back into what was the end of the last episode, where he was asked to be the bodyguard for our hacker friend.
Yeah, I do have to jet for a minute.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I don't know if you want to pause or you want to just keep going until I get back, but
I'll finish the summary and then go to BRB.
okay. And just mute yourself on Discord because I'll keep it up so my stream hears it too.
Gotcha. I will meet myself on Discord once everything's going. All right, so last episode, Hacker Friend asks Beltol to be a bodyguard. He just kind of waltzes in to the Yakuza meeting. And when they ask him who he is, he gives his fucking streamer intro. Because, of course, he's thought of the streamer intro as his sort of battle cry. Because initially he had kind of went with the battle cry first when asked about an intro. Then, obviously kind of fucking confused, they're insulting him, and he's like, oh, my obsessive haters do better insults than you. It's fucking great. And they finally get in on the fighting, and Beltor wipes the floor with all of the bipedal, fleshy people. And is about to procure the object when a fucking mech shows up. Like, it's battle armor / mech, but it's called a gear. I'm calling it a mech. Very, very expensive. Definitely part of the powers that be, especially with the reveals later. He goes in to fight this mech, and we see some of that reveal with Beltol's power and like knowledge of combat when he goes, oh, you've trained a lot, but you're not used to combat, are you? And yeah, Beltol gets his head cut off and his arm cut off, but that's fine. That's fine. He comes back, he cuts off all things that this mech needs to move around, and then goes and takes the items. Now, I don't know exactly what the at the end there, when they went to 3080, said something like initiating code 3080, because I can't fight anymore. I don't know if that was a suicide thing or if that was a something that'll come back later. Whichever the case may be, they get the information, like the mithril information cube, which is a pretty cool concept in and of itself, and find the information and find a list of immortals, like Beltol's followers, immortals. It doesn't include Machina's name for some reason. He fills out. He obviously wants to know what's going on after seeing that, so they go to meet the information broker, which takes some time. An information broker's fucking dead, just in his computer chair. Seemed to be a clean-cut assassination, not very emotionally driven. So, at least as Veltel says. I can't really tell one way or the other. And that's when they find a more regular piece of technology, like a laptop, that has information on it, because you wouldn't put it in a Familia, because that thing's always connected to the internet. And he had a video file on there. And it explains, yeah, immortals being used to power the city, because otherwise, with just 2 lines, they really shouldn't have the power output they have to power the city. Which does also lead to a conundrum. They have to solve the power problem and the people being locked up problem. Because if they don't solve the power problem, a lot of people are just gonna fucking die. Because there's a lot of things the city needs, and a lot of protective mechanisms, so on and so forth. And that's kind of the explanation until Cat comes back. Ah, gotcha.
So I told you to mute when I left.
Yeah, so we are back.
Yeah.
Switch to the chatting screen. So yeah, I basically summarized the whole damn episode.
Yeah, I figured you did. I'm just trying to think what I had to say about it. Oh right, the mech pilot fucking just offing himself.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Is that what he did? But yeah, that's what he did.
Like you hear a gunshot fucking from the inside of the damn thing. I don't know how he had room to maneuver to shoot himself, but he did.
Maybe they have a fucking turret in there just pointed at his head.
Maybe, I don't know.
Or built into the
really
helmet.
Small mech. Like that is so small it might actually qualify as powered armor instead.
Maybe, but I think it's big enough.
It was like 9 feet tall.
Yeah, it's hard to say exactly, but it's close enough to be either.
Yeah, it's on that line. Because like normal realistic power armor is something like the size of the Fallout 4 power armor, right? But like you can make it bigger. It wouldn't help any, but you can make it bigger.
Yeah, but either way, I think one of the things I can point out is that sort of experience gap that Veltol noted. You got a lot of training, but you haven't done a lot of things.
Yeah, like the dude's cut, like the pilot's cuts were good maneuvering, etc., etc. Just like bad judgment for thinking that the fight was over just because there was no head.
Yep. And
which, like, I understand you would assume that like cutting off someone's arm and head means they're dead. However, this is a world of magic, and immortals are not only known, there was a whole ass genocide against them using special weapons.
Yep. Though,
so like,
I guess
you gotta make sure.
Yeah, it's one of those things you really should make sure, but I guess he assumed, oh, this is just a magical, this is just a proficiently magical person. Because that's what
absolutely the fuck not.
That's what it would be 9.9 times out of 10. Sorry, buddy, you're the 0.1%.
Yeah. Bad luck, man. Bad luck.
Yeah, like, he even said, oh, you just went up against the wrong man. And Veltol was going to keep him alive.
Yeah, Veltol was absolutely not going to kill him.
Yeah, you can face me again, kind of shit he was saying.
Yeah, it was like, just go back and keep training. Come back later. I want to see how good you get.
Yeah.
Which is like my favorite kind of demon lord. They kick the shit out of you and go, okay, come back later when you're better.
Yeah, and it shows a stark difference because I'm going to say, given everything we know now, that is his boss is fucking Marcus.
Yeah, I would have to say that he is. Yeah,
that shows a different.
That's my gut instinct, at least.
Yeah, that shows a stark difference between Marcus and Veltol. Because Veltol did not like that. That the guy offed himself. Like, he didn't
Although, was he
say...
a corporate cop or was he like a state cop?
He
Oh, I
was
mean, both answer to Marcus. I'm just wondering.
city guard.
City guard. Okay.
Yeah, it
'Cause,
was...
like, Marcus is still the ruler of the city. It's just, it's the difference between like him being like a private guard and him being like a public one.
Yeah, no, I really need to start remembering her name, but Hacker Lady said, "Oh, that's the city guard."
Takahashi.
Takahashi, that's right, Takahashi. Takahashi was like, "Yeah, IHMI, that's the city guard. Like, that's their tier of shit." And given that this had information in regards to how the city's powered and all that, I'm going to assume it has to do with the city.
Like, I wonder why Marcus even like resorted to using the immortal furnace in the first place. Why wouldn't you just move the fucking city? Move the people of the city. That's all you need to do.
Well,
Like, you're probably one of the most powerful people in the entire world because of your familia.
yeah. First off, just it might be really expensive and really difficult to run those lines. Like, we don't know how difficult it is to actually get those lines going, because you can have more than 2 lines.
Yeah, because a city the size of Shinjuku was supposed to have like 8 or 9
Yeah.
convergences.
Yeah, so you could build
I'm talking about
more.
the ley lines for everyone, and so there's only 2 under Shinjuku right now, and that's just simply not enough.
Yeah. So you could build more. The other thing is, Marcus might have just went, easy way to get rid of the rest of the immortals and get a use out of them.
Oh yeah, I do. I understand that, but I would have done that anyway if I was in Marcus' position. I mean, I would have done that anyway and simply stored the extra aether for my own use.
Yeah. That's
because
true.
like you can't use a non-renewable resource like that endlessly, and you would think that he would understand that, being an immortal.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Capitalists are short-sighted fuckwits.
Yeah, but like the man is like 1,000 years old, like literally.
Doesn't matter. Lol capitalists. Does not even matter if they're immortal. If you gave Elon Musk immortality, do you really think he'd stop being short-sighted? Or do you think he would just leave company after company in his wake?
I think he would after like 80, like not 80, but like 800 years.
I don't have that much hope for him, honestly.
No, it's not for him specifically. It's just in general. The longer you live, the more like the less short-sighted you get.
Kinda?
And that's still true even today, even for uneducated people. It's just that they don't have the information and education to properly assess the risks.
That's fair, but still, yeah. But basically, assholes like him are short-sighted fuckwits who will just do what they think will get them more power the quickest.
It's like old people aren't stupid; they just don't know as much.
Maybe, but the thing is, I don't think capitalists are people.
Yes, but they are is the problem.
I mean, they are, but also, I don't think they're... I think there's something that goes wrong with your brain once you reach $1 billion.
Okay, you're absolutely correct on that. Like, I'm pretty sure there's actual studies stating like that, like the larger your bank account gets after a certain point, the less it makes sense to you. Like, there are actual studies done on the effects of like having like too many resources on the human mind. Like, you're probably not wrong, but there's still people.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Even if I don't like that fact, they still are people.
Yeah, no, you're right, and I usually point that out for things, because you can't go, evil people aren't people, because then you go, oh, that's a person, they can't do anything evil. Like, they did a good thing for me once, or
There's
whatever.
also the fact that like even evil people do good things sometimes. Like I've proven that multiple times myself through like how I talk about how I would do things personally. Like when I talk about how I want to play an evil character, I don't mean I want to play a Sunday cartoon villain. I want to play the big bad evil guy Lich that whose plans come to fruition over the course of 300 years and no one fucking notices because they're actually smart about how they do their evil.
Yeah, like, there's stuff like that. And there are people who are both evil and farsighted. But the thing is, most evil people, and really the reason I said they weren't people is just because I am still a bit angry about today, but
Oh yeah, absolutely.
uh,
Oh, which actually, speaking of, just like slight good news, I did get my housemate just now when I was gone to admit that it probably wasn't a good idea. It doesn't change who they voted for, but damn it, at least like I got them to admit it.
that's something at least. Like, come on, that really was not your brightest moment.
Yes, like fucking 34 felonies and like held liable for like found liable for a sexual abuse case. Like, come on. It's like,
Yeah.
yes, I know that Clinton did some fucked up shit too during that. And it's not like Trump is the first person to do anything illegal while in office or not in office and still run anyway. But the difference here is none of them have ever been fucking convicted and then voted in again.
Yeah. See,
He's the only U.S. president or former U.S. president to have been convicted of a crime. Period. And he still got back in.
yeah, that does say a lot about us.
It's not even us.
Yeah,
It's other people.
yeah, but I mean, us as the collective country.
Like the problem is as like we were talking about in the Discord last night, that it's like there's only a few of the like Trump's fanatics. Like there are actually like genuinely very few. It's that most people don't actually see anything about either of the candidates. They don't know
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, that's true.
And like that's why fucking Musk bought Twitter is to make sure that happened.
Yep, because name recognition really fucking works. Unfortunately. Like, that's been shown time and again.
Yeah, and it's not just Musk. Don't get me wrong. I'm not blaming all of this on Musk. It's also people like Rupert Murdoch,
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. Like, yeah, Murdoch,
among others.
Murdoch turned on Trump a little bit at the end there, but not really.
Like it takes time for misinformation to spread, right? Like you might be able to think that shit gets spread overnight, but it doesn't even within the modern day because most people don't pay direct attention to these sources of misinformation. We think it spreads so quickly because we're always online, right? Like we're content creators or we have a lot of friends online, so we're constantly online and talking to people. Most people don't. Like as much as the internet is like a required thing today, most people don't use the internet for really much other than like watching TV shows, like shopping online and applying to jobs,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, at least not yet. I think we'll start to see a more dramatic shift once our parents' generation dies.
Yeah, like the problem is like that's still also the case for younger people. It's younger people like our age and below, generally speaking, are more active online than previous generations, but not the not the crushing majority.
Maybe so. Maybe I
Like
do
two
have that.
thirds maybe, but not like 90% or anything.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Well, that's kind of what I mean, though, is we're going to see more people who view the online community as a secondary community that they actually get involved in over time from our generation onwards.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's
All I fucking know is I'm tired.
yeah,
I'm real
very,
tired.
very, very. But yeah, uh, capitalists and tyrannical bastards are often short-sighted fuckwits who aren't actually as bright as they try and appear to be.
You know what I should have done when I was up? Get a fucking ice cream sandwich.
That would have been a good idea, yes.
I didn't have one yesterday. Like now I really want one.
Yeah.
In fact,
Like,
I will be back in literally 30 seconds. I'm gonna keep my headphones on. Let's keep talking.
all right. Like,
Sorry, yeah.
a lot of capitalists are Andrew Ryan in Bioshock. As a forest that gets turned into a national, like part of it gets turned into a national park or whatever, and he decides to get mad and burn the whole thing down just because he wants it to be his private property that nobody else can touch. And personal property is fine. Personal property is your house, your toothbrush, your car, things you use. Private property, stuff that's too big for you or your family or anyone deeply connected to you to use all of it, is actually heinous.
Yeah, this is actually a real problem. People don't know the difference between personal property and private property.
Yes, that's definitely why I explained what it was.
Like personal property is like the house that I'm living in, my computer, the fucking cup that I have in my hands, it's my swords, it's my knives, it's my kettle, you know?
Yeah, it's
My
stuff.
bed.
Yeah, it's stuff that you use even for decorative purposes, but it's all in your space.
However, private property would be like anything that I own as a part of a business.
Yeah,
That's not personal anymore, that's private.
Yeah, part of it, well, part of a business that you don't run by yourself. Like if you had, even just like a small warehouse or something, or just a small space that you still use and it's just you doing the business, like say screen printing, and you and maybe your significant other run the business by yourself. That's still kind of personal property. But once you expand beyond that, and it's resources that you cannot use alone, that starts to delve into private property. Think of a factory that makes t-shirts instead of a screen printing business. At least that's how I understand it.
Yeah, like I'm not sure like what the modern legal definitions are. I just know like the philosophical definitions.
Yeah, well, that's kind of that's
classic. I am not a lawyer shit. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
I just know the philosophical definitions of this. Like
yeah, see
the guiding principles behind the laws, not the actual laws.
Yeah, first off, check your local laws on this. But what I mean is when we're talking about private and personal property, we're talking about things beyond which you cannot use alone, that you require to hire people with and have them provide you with additional labor to make the thing function. Or, you literally cannot use all of it.
It's just kind of funny because like you constantly see like this is private property signs and all that shit. It's like no, it's not. No, it's not. That's personal property.
Yeah, but that's
not private property.
Yeah, that's just a mix of definitions, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that's also creates a problem because like when the stuff comes out about like, oh yes, private property will be taxed by blah 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 blah, or private property will have these restrictions, people think that applies to their personal houses. It does not.
Yeah, that is
that's not what that means.
Yeah, that is a huge problem. But it's legal and philosophical definitions next to what's expedient.
Yeah, it's like that's a real problem for like any kind of like expert communication, right? Expert field communication.
Yeah,
because like there's no real way to properly break down law to normal people in a way that's understandable and still use the same words that are actually in the laws.
Yeah, but basically business property or property that is beyond the means of which you can use it. Because technically, Andrew Ryan's, in the fictional example, Andrew Ryan's forest has no business use. but he literally cannot be everywhere in that forest at once. We're talking a substantially large forest. He could not even walk from one end to the other in a day. Of the longest length, obviously.
Yeah. Also, it's just kind of fucked up to burn down a forest just because like the government's like, hey, can I buy this off you? Yeah, all right.
Yep. Yes, eminent domain has been used for a lot of shitty things, but going, hey, people should be able to hike here because it's part of the natural wonders of this country, is not one of
Like
them.
this is the one time the eminent domain is good. It's like that right there.
Yeah, stuff like that and stuff going like, yeah, you see all these vacant houses that you've been keeping vacant because it's actually more profitable for you? Give those
Somehow.
here. Give those here, big, real estate company, and we will use them for public housing or whatever, public works.
I think it's actually like a very important distinction. So I find it. This is like the part of a much larger irritation I have. But for some reason, people believe that it's only been within the last 100 or 200 years that like non-nobles or non-merchants have actually had any rights or legal protections at all, and that is not true at all.
Oh yeah, no, not at all.
In fact, there is actually a concept in medieval European law that separates stuff into useful domain and legal domain. Shut up. Legal domain is like when you legally own it, right? Useful domain is whether or not you're actually fucking using it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if a noble owns something, they have legal domain over it, right? But if they're not using it, they do not have useful domain over it, and whoever is living there does. And most medieval courts and tribunals would in fact rule in favor of useful domain over legal domain.
Yeah.
Which basically means squatters' rights, motherfuckers.
Yeah, largely so. The main problem with that, or one of the problems with that, is they use that as an excuse for the largely nomadic Native Africans and Native Americans. They went, oh, you're not using this for X month amounts out of the year. You don't even have any permanent structures.
Problem with like how they define useful domain and how long it takes to become useful.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to point out, and I'm sure you would have thought to point it out at some point in the conversation, but, just pointing out, hey, this is not a perfect system. It needed some fucking tweaking, but it is not.
Yeah, like the problem with the system, though, is not like the definitions of useful domain or legal domain. The problem is like what it takes to become considered useful domain legally.
Yeah. But yeah, in general.
But like language is imprecise in general. Like you're never going to have a perfect system anyway. Just get as close as we fucking can. But that's just that's not the point, though.
Yeah. But
the point was just like that people think that medieval peoples were like weird, colorless, drab, dirty savages, but that's just straight up not true.
Yeah, no.
They had soap, they did bathe, they dyed their clothes, they had legal protections for the underclasses. They did. Just because those people did not have the resources to pursue a legal case does not mean those legal protections did not exist. It's the same thing as in real life. We have legal protections for like the lower classes, poor people like me. The problem is we don't have the money for lawyers right now.
Yeah.
So like if you can find a lawyer who will take your case, then you find a lawyer that takes your case, but that's not always going to happen.
Yeah. Same thing with undocumented immigrants. Undocumented immigrants have almost all of the same rights you do.
Mm-hmm.
A
couple things they're missing is just like the right to vote.
Yeah, it's right to vote, but they have in the United States, they have right to property. They have
Yeah.
they have a right to a fair trial, which is what should happen.
Because like a lot of the rights that are guaranteed by the Constitution are not for specifically American citizens. It's for all people.
Yes, it is for persons, and they do have a delineation between citizens and persons.
Otherwise, immigrants who aren't citizens yet would be able to vote if we didn't have that delineation in the Constitution. But we do.
Yeah, we have that line in the Constitution that shows what is everybody who steps foot on American soil and what is specifically the purview of citizens, which is primarily the voting rights.
Yeah, primarily voting and like running for office and shit like that. You can't hold office if you're not a citizen, obviously.
Yeah, at least not of a federal office. It's a little different potentially.
Or like states and like counties and shit like that.
Yeah.
But like,
local
the Constitution
laws.
generally covers federal stuff, so
Yeah. Yeah,
it
because
outlines what powers the states may have, but other than that, that's it.
Not that I expect we'll have a lot of people who don't know this on here, but just in case you stumbled upon this and you're still listening, the people that Trump and his ilk like to call quote unquote illegals are not here illegally. They are here seeking asylum, and they should be treated as American nationals until their court hearing, until their hearings. And once their hearings are all done, one of two things will happen. Either they will be an American citizen with all the rights thereof under, asylum, or they will be deported. All of the other shit that a lot of administrations, but Trump in particular put extra ones that is put in between is just to be cruel and to keep people away.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that about like most of the undocumented immigrants being actually that, but that's because I just straight up don't give a shit. I don't care if they're undocumented immigrants. I just do not care. For the vast majority of human history, there hasn't been legal immigration anywhere. It's fine. Who cares?
Yeah, admittedly, who the fuck cares? But if you do
I get wanting to know for census data and shit like that, but otherwise it's just fucking whatever. Just don't make them citizens, call them residents instead, which is what we already fucking do.
Yeah, generally let everybody cross the border. Sure, check them at the border to make sure they're not doing something like human trafficking or whatever, but if they're not doing that, let them through. But just in case you do care, just in case you do, that's not what's happening, is people aren't getting caught doing shit that's actually illegal. They come to the border, they go up to border police and go, I want to file for asylum. And what should happen is they go, okie dokie, and get them to whatever housing they have for asylum seekers and get them a court date. But we put a lot of unnecessary shit in between. This started a long time ago. I think it might have either been Reagan or Bush. One of those.
It's been a while.
But it has been persistent. It has been persistent throughout a lot of administrations, including Democrat administrations. Democrats were breaking and will continue to break immigration law because we signed treaties that do say, here's how we're going to treat people filing for asylum, and then we don't do that. And treaties are the law of the land.
Which actually, one second. I do remember someone, I don't remember who or where, but I do remember seeing someone say some shit about how the other countries in the world wouldn't respect us with a female leader, and it's just what?
What the fuck? What the fuck?
What are you talking about?
Are you saying people don't respect Germany?
Yeah, some of the most powerful countries in the world that aren't us have female leaders right now.
Yes. powerful countries around the world. There are African countries, because it's not just one country.
I know like that everyone hates Thatcher and for good reason, but you can't say that she was disrespected internationally
Yeah,
by other leaders.
yeah. Other leaders took Thatcher very seriously.
And that was fucking 30 years ago. A little more than, but about 30 years ago.
Yeah, it was a Reagan-tastic era, but she was still treated with respect on the national stage. And she made sure she was respected.
Well, I need another captioner link.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No problem. But yeah, she was respected on the national stage. There's no reason that Kamala Harris...
We're not in the 1800s anymore, all right?
Yeah.
Come on. It's been a long time since female leaders were like disrespected internationally, and by like a long time, I do mean like a long time. So yeah. I'm pretty sure Queen Victoria was respected internationally.
Yeah, like again, there are African countries, or at least one that I know of, that has a woman as a leader, or as part of the leadership structure. Because, there's
all the idea that like a fucking like the attorney general would be unfit to be like a part of the legislative or executive branch. It's just fucking phenomenal. It's phenomenally stupid to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like a lawyer is exactly the kind of person you want there.
Yeah, like most of them have gone to understand. Most presidents have gone to law school. Not because they want to be lawyers necessarily, though some were, but because
they need that to understand legal stuff.
Yeah,
like what policy is going to do.
Yeah, what policy is going to do. Maybe take an economics class so they understand what a fucking tariff is.
Yeah. That's actually kind of important, everyone. Tariffs are generally bad.
Yes, because tariffs don't actually cost the other country anything. A tariff on, for example, just because it's the boogeyman used, China, would not cause any financial drain on China. All it means is products from China will cost you, the person buying it, more.
Yeah, and of course, like the tariff does not apply to us specifically. It applies to the retailers and corporations who are buying those products to then sell to us.
Yes.
But this is a corporation we're talking about. They're not going to give up the opportunity to charge us more if they can get away with it.
Yes, so
they will. They can and will, because we had a small amount of inflation. Well, it wasn't a small amount, but just like a moderate amount of inflation at, was it the beginning of this year or the beginning of last year? I don't remember. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Within the last couple of years. And then prices increased by like 30%. That's not how that works. They just use that as an excuse.
Yeah, they use inflation as an excuse. They used COVID as an excuse. Granted, there was a lot of things, with supply lines. So it's not...
Yeah, like these things actually did get more expensive, like on a real practical level, but not to the extent that we were charged for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, these things existed, but they used them as an excuse to charge even more.
Like, these tariffs, I don't know what kind of tariff it is. I don't give a shit what kind of tariff it is. I just know I didn't want Trump in power in the first place because I knew that the tariffs would be fucked, and I knew all of these things that he's going to do would be fucked. And also, he's a fucking felon.
Yeah, like, there is that.
So I don't know, like, the specifics of, like, what kind of tariffs he wants to put on.
Yeah, and here's...
Like, it doesn't matter, though.
Here's the unfortunate thing, though, is I can't trust this country with a felon cannot hold office, because all they'd have to do was say, oh, this X very normal thing, like going 5 miles above the speed limit or whatever, is a felony.
Yes, but that would not apply retroactively.
It would not apply retroactively, but it does mean that they can just pick off people who are starting to get popular.
Oh, I know, I know. I'm just saying, just like in general. So for anyone wondering, the U.S. legal system does not make it so retroactively you can be arrested for something that became a crime later.
Yeah, yeah, retroactive
Like
stuff.
when you did it, it was not a crime. It was legal or it was decriminalized or whatever the fuck. It was not a crime. You cannot be later arrested for it.
Yeah, at least that's our general
It was like
understanding.
genuinely like a problem that like the founding fathers when they wrote the Constitution and the Bill of Rights wanted to solve
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
that's what they were afraid of because that's what happened in England, like under England, like the Empire of England
Yeah,
for a very long time was that people would do that shit to imprison their political enemies,
yes. The same thing with
along with double jeopardy.
yeah, and also adding treason to everything.
Yeah,
That is why
which is why
treason is hyper specific in the US beyond any other country that has treason as a
yeah,
crime.
like you have to do something like very specific to commit treason in the U.S. Like, and that is actively selling secrets or power or some shit to another country. I don't remember the exact definition. It's something like that, though.
The exact definition is in a time of war, providing aid or comfort to a invasion or insurrection.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Yes. And very few people have been charged under this, even if really eyeballing it, you go, no, that fits that definition. Because we don't want to use treason in this country.
Yep.
Just the Constitution was made to make treason very hard because the founding fathers were rather sensitive to that.
Considering, England.
Yes, the thing is, laws
I don't
need
think
to
like
be
even
updated.
secession, like what caused the Civil War, actually counted as like treason, right? Like not even that.
I think I'd have to check because
I don't think it did. It might have, but
I
I don't
think
think it did.
I think some of the people involved had treason applied to them, but I don't think it was most. Mainly because, and I think this was actually a ill thought out plan, but they did need people to actually, you know, rebuild after the whole war thing was over. So they let a lot
Yeah.
of people go. A lot of people. And let them go and just do their own thing rather than watching
Stop.
them.
No. Stop.
And yeah, this is kind of becoming a
Yes, I know you're
political
very into.
talk, but we're all feeling
This can still be
rather.
applied to like stories and world building. It's
Yeah.
fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the excuse we're running with. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's the excuse we're running with, but uh, if you're gonna tune out, I understand. We're just feeling quite political today for obvious reasons.
And besides, like I've gone over it multiple times when we're talking on these shows, but like I like political thrillers and intrigue.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm
But
not gonna stop talking about the thing that I like just because like Trump is now in office. Fuck that guy. He doesn't get to take this from me.
yeah, I mean, first off, that I'm just emphasizing that because we kind of went in at the hour mark and then kept going for a half hour. So I'm like, yeah, if you need to tune out, I
Okay.
understand.
Yeah.
If you're here for the weeb shit, we might talk about it a little bit more if it becomes relevant. But I understand if you want to go after our descriptions of that.
Yeah. It's actually the legal versus useful domain is great shit, great fodder for like a medieval or Renaissance era society. Like you can cause so much fucking strife in a single city by putting like one or two corrupt motherfuckers on a tribune
Oh yeah,
and like
absolutely.
fucking with like and have that one or two corrupt dude fuck with useful domain. There would be a rebellion or civil unrest so fucking fast.
Yeah, it's also the
It's
concept.
great fodder for a story.
It's a concept that we've definitely forgotten in the United States. I won't speak to other countries, but I know some of them have certainly lost this concept too. But the commons, common property among the people who live in a city or in a town or, anything like that. The commons could be the forest where you cultivate berry bushes and lumber.
The fucking town square where everyone sets up their stalls for festivals.
Yeah, hunting grounds, all sorts of things. Like, there was definitely problems where a king would dig into the commons and make hunting illegal or hunting of specific game illegal. But the idea of the commons, where some things were just understood, this is for the common good of the people who live here. And
yeah, like I don't want to paint like older eras as being like more idyllic or something like that. As I said, like I can't remember if it was on Monday or the previous Weeb Wednesday, but things are better now than they were 300 years ago. Just like objectively,
yeah, absolutely. Like, things
they may
are
have
better.
been better 10 years ago compared to now, but they're now better than they were 40 years ago, right? Like it's
Yeah, or the other way to put it is the regressives are looking back to the wrong things. Because there were some good ass ideas in the past, but they're picking out the wrong ideas.
yeah, like medieval England was not like a utopia or anything. It fucking sucked, but like it wasn't brown colored and filthy and smelling of shit all the time.
Yeah, like,
I mean, London was, but that's because it was London.
yeah, that's because it
Like that
was,
was very specifically a problem with London. That was a known problem of London.
yeah, London did not have a sewer system, and it was increasing in size so fucking rapidly, they just built on top of the old city over and over at a faster rate than most civilizations do.
Yeah, like that was even at the time it was a known problem that there was no real way to like keep the streets clean.
Yeah, so that was a very specific problem, but the thing is, we apply it to all medieval places, and no, you'd wash up in the river, and the river wasn't polluted, so you could actually wash up there.
Yeah, some peoples in the medieval era washed more than some people do today.
Yes, and in fact, it was a noted thing about the Vikings. They washed quite a bit, and
Yeah,
that's why
okay.
Englishmen
Which is
thought that they were wooing their women. Which, I mean, they
yeah,
were.
so
That's
like
part of
this is
why.
actually like built into like their language. Saturday in Old Norse translates to laundry day. Like it's just the day that everyone would go bathe and do their laundry.
Yeah,
It's like Laudertag or Lauertag, something like that. It's something.
yeah,
I don't remember the exact word, but it's laundry day.
yeah. So, no, medieval cultures were not like, filthy, awful places. Like, sure, there's better doctors today and things like that, but even that, we regressed and then we got better about it. Because we regressed a bit when we stopped going, oh yeah, the local elders who actually know shit about the plants in this area have some good fucking points, and went, nah, we're just gonna start all from scratch with wild-eyed academics who have never been in the region using scalpels and leeches.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to say that, like, oh, you're doing like homeopathy bullshit. No, we're not. No, we're not. A lot of the medicine that you take now for like basic shit like headaches or colds or whatever are based on like things like fucking willow bark.
Yeah, willow bark.
Willow bark tea is like the old fashioned aspirin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Literally, it literally is. It has aspirin in it.
Yes. It's just our medicine is better versions of that. But the
Because
thing,
it's been like extracted, isolated, and concentrated.
yeah,
There's more of it in our aspirin.
yes, there's more of it, and there are less potential
Everything
side
else.
effects,
Yep.
usually.
Can you give me another captioner link?
Yeah.
God damn it. Bullshit.
Yeah. So, it's one of those things we can look back and go, yeah, we should have more vacation days because we can handle that.
Yeah.
And we can look back and go, yeah, the commons is an idea we should not have let get stolen from us. Because the thing is, when rules started getting rewritten and things like zoning codes happened, we stopped getting access to the commons. And it stopped being a thing because it wasn't codified in law, because it was assumed to be a natural right.
Which is never a good idea. Don't assume shit is natural rights, because like you have to actually codify those.
Yeah.
Otherwise, some asshole's absolutely going to take it.
Yeah, but the problem with that is you can't think of literally everything.
I know, it's just like whenever you like find one that should be but isn't, just codify it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Because part of the Constitution is also to go, hey, you have some rights that are just the rights of people for existing. We, the government, do not give those to you, nor can we take those away.
Yeah, as the phrase inalienable rights.
Yes. And that
they cannot be made alien to you.
Yes.
That you have them because you're alive.
Yes. And some of those rights, as the Constitution says, are not actually in the Constitution or Bill of Rights. They are just part of what you should have. Rather, I should say they're not codified. But they are put under the labels of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which all of you know that part who are American.
Yeah, it's like in fact, that part states that the government, all governments everywhere have the obligation to provide and protect these things for its citizens.
Yes. And it's not something they bestow upon you. It is their responsibility and your right as given to you by the creator / being born.
Yeah, because they were not quite atheists, and they were deist, or some of them were Christian, etc. They believed in a creator. Some of us don't now. It's fine,
but yeah,
but like they are just human, ethically, they are just human rights.
Yes,
so
that's their point when they said that. So, unfortunately, some of those things were assumed, and some of those things were assumed about the presidency.
Yeah, like for example, no one would ever fucking elect someone who was held liable in a sexual abuse case.
Well, they probably didn't quite have the same concept of sexual abuse we do, unfortunately. Given
I'm just saying.
But yeah, like they didn't consider, we're going to have a fucking felon who doesn't understand how economics works and won't listen to his economists.
God damn it.
This latter part has been rather cathartic for me, because fuck.
Yeah. But these are things like to pay attention to, like when you're like reading stories or paying attention to real life.
Yeah, like pay attention.
People are trying to tell you that this shit isn't real, that it's certain eras were completely lacked these things and they were all just savages. No, that's just revisionism.
Yeah, that's deep revisionism. And something to know is, for example, a lot of African and Middle Eastern countries had rulers who were women. They had rulers who were gay. And it was the Christian church that came in and said, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, no one gave a shit, because as long as you were good at your job, you were good at your job.
Yeah.
And that's ostensibly how it works today too. But like in some cases, people just like don't pay enough attention to realize that the person is bad at their job.
Yeah. Or they get told they're bad at their job when the person's actually good at their job, and they just use whatever social pariah of the month to say, they're doing that X evil thing because they're part of that group.
Yeah. When I heard about that fucking like the Haitians eating cats, like house cats things, like I I was stunned by the fact that anyone would ever believe that shit.
Yeah, like this shit again? Really?
It's like, yeah, they're in like Springfield, Illinois, eating cats. Sure, absolutely.
Oh,
Haitians,
and I
or
have and I have
wherever
a
the fuck
personal bone to pick with that because it was fucking Ohio that this was about.
Oh, was it Ohio? Oh, you can't blame me. There's like 80 fucking
Oh
Springfields.
yeah, absolutely. There's always another Springfield. Every city has an Elm Street, every state has a Springfield.
Actually, I think the Elm Street where I am is just like a couple blocks down. Because in this neighborhood, all of the streets are named after trees.
Yeah, so it probably wouldn't take long for you to hit Helm.
Yeah, like I don't remember exactly where it is, but I've seen that sign very nearby.
Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those things. Where
oak, pine, hickory,
Yeah.
elm.
So
there's willow.
It is one of those things that shocks me that Ohio voted that much for Trump, given that fucking ridiculous thing about a community in Ohio.
Yeah, which is really weird because people actually went and investigated and just like didn't fucking find anything.
Yeah,
there's A, there's no Haitians here. B,
well,
there's no cats that are missing.
Well, no, there are Haitian communities in that city.
Okay,
and
I mean, like,
but there's no roving bands of Haitians who don't have jobs who are eating pets, like Trump was trying to do.
It's fucking ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, one lady who I guess posted on Facebook or something like, "Oh no, they ate my cat," because my cat disappeared. No, cat just locked itself in the fucking basement.
Which happens. Cats are dumb.
Cats are exceedingly dumb.
I know they seem very smart, but believe me, I have 2 cats. They're stupid.
They are, again, they share a brain cell, and not all of them know how to intercept it.
Yeah, especially if it's an orange cat. I don't know what it is about orange tabbies, but fuck, dude.
Yeah. I am not going to bother to pull up the video here for you folks, so you'll have to use your Google foo on this, but I did see a video of a cat just walking down an up escalator. And I don't think it was doing it for play. I think that cat just did not compute escalator. I am not actually moving down, even though I am continuing to walk.
Which is fair, because, like, nothing like an escalator exists in nature. Of course you're not gonna, like, find an animal that really understands them, like, without a good deal of training and exposure, right? It's the same thing with doors. Doors don't exist in nature. Of course they don't understand that they just lock themselves in.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. They don't understand I can lean against this object and be absolutely trapped in. Because under most circumstances, if you can push an object, you can usually pounce it enough until it moves again.
Yeah, exactly. Like, fucking one of my housemate's dogs locked himself in the bathroom a couple of months ago, and because he's a dog, he doesn't understand that if you bark, you'll get help for the most part. Like he thought, like, okay, I can just push on the door the other way to get out, but he can't do that because it's hinged.
Yeah.
So, like, what happened instead is he tore the fuck out of everything that was near the door, trying to push the door open.
Yeah. Granted, some animals have learned I can make noise.
Yeah, like, generally speaking, like, dogs are much better about it than, like, most animals. Dogs and cats are much better about, like, asking the nearby humans for help. But that's because, like, we bred them that way. We've taught that to them over the course of thousands of years.
Yep. And some animals that kind of interact with humans a little bit, like ducks, know to walk up to the big thing, and maybe they'll help in a bad situation.
Yeah, I know that there are some bears who have learned that humans will help in some circumstances as well. I actually saw a video of a bear approaching a human when it snowed too early to get the human to help like unclog and brush the fur clean of the snow.
Oh, nice.
And like so, like the human had like a rake and was just like raking the snow off, and then like once the bear was clean on that side, the bear would stand up, scoot over, and just like turn around so that the human could get the other side.
Yeah, so animals can sometimes be smart, but yeah, don't expect them to know everything that you do about how things function.
Yeah,
Because what most animals will do to lock themselves into a room is they will wedge themselves between the door and the wall, either because they want to lay down or because they're playing and moving about the space. Either way, that means they're hitting the door closed.
yeah, like they'll get in when it's cracked, and they'll push themselves in, but the extra momentum will start moving it around, and then they'll just like squirm around the other side and accidentally press it close.
Yep, they'll do that too.
Or they'll follow you in and you won't notice because it's a small dog or a cat or whatever the fuck, and you'll close the door behind you when you leave, and now they're stuck
Yep.
because they followed you in like a jackass.
Yeah. Animals do these things. Understand this. Understand that if your pet is missing, give it a bit.
Search your house properly, including like the places you don't think they'll be, because you never know.
Yeah, at least check every room in your building.
So I had a dog like get himself locked in the different bathroom. When I found him in there, like the trash can was literally all over the fucking bathroom.
Yeah,
Little
yeah.
creature.
But yes,
Granted, that one doesn't bark very often. Like he doesn't vocalize, so
yeah. But yeah, Asian immigrants know about this bullshit with the accusations of pet eating.
like even if you're willing to eat like a dog or a cat or whatever, you're not going to, generally speaking, you're not going to steal someone else's dog or cat to eat, right?
Yeah, like if you're at the point of
If
stealing, you're gonna go into a grocery store, grab some roast chicken, and run.
Yeah, because roast chicken is like way better.
Yeah, roast chicken is just better.
And you know that there's probably not fucking worms or whatever in the roast chicken. You don't know that about random people's animals.
Yeah. So, for just safety's sake, most people are just gonna fucking steal food. Like just regular ass food from a grocery store. Because the grocery store isn't gonna go hungry, and the grocery store doesn't usually have somebody who's gonna shoot them on sight.
Yeah. Like that's not to say that like no one is willing to fucking steal like random people's food on their street. Like there are absolutely people who will do that. It's just
Even
you gotta think of like what the most likely scenario is, and if it's not random people roving around your town stealing people's pets to eat them,
yeah, the
it's
most likely
probably not what's happening.
Yeah, the most likely thing that occurs is they're going to steal food from the grocery store or from the convenience store. Maybe, if you're walking home with a sandwich, they jack the sandwich. And that's a big fucking
Sandwich
maybe.
jacked. Mugged for your sandwich. That'd be a hell of a story.
Yeah,
He doesn't even want your wallet or your phone or anything. He just wants your sandwich.
yeah, I mean, just, grab the food bag like you would a purse.
Just snatch the sandwich right out of their hands as they're raising it to their mouth and run.
Yeah, exactly. You get me. Like, they're way more likely to do that than steal your pets. If they're at the point of stealing pets, there is a lot wrong with your community.
Yeah, it's not that there's immigrants there. There's just like something deeply wrong with like
Your actual, ability to feed your populace. Like, there has to be such a shortage of food in the grocery stores.
fucking stunning, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, like
that
that.
people will actually believe this shit.
Yeah, like that fucking stunned. Yeah, that stunned me to even hear said.
Like, I think the
Not from
one like
Trump.
random, I think the one random hoax that I actually fucking believed for all of like 5 minutes, was some anti-homeless shelter, not shelter, camp spikes. You know, like the road spikes that they put under bridges and shit, being painted like rainbow colors, because like that is actually some shit that like an out of touch city hall would do.
Oh yeah, like absolutely, there would be some rainbow tyranny bullshit that could absolutely happen.
Did it happen? No. No,
No,
but it was absolutely like something that could, because
yeah,
I've seen similar enough shit enough times.
yeah, like it's believable that it is a combination of two actually believable things. Will they
One of
put
which was actually real.
will they put spikes under bridges just to get rid of homeless people from that place so they're out of sight?
What I love is the ones where they take out the bench and replace it with one where there's a slot in the middle that has a fucking that
Handicap.
has a fucking handicap sign on it, and it's just like,
I am
guys, I don't think that people in wheelchairs need a place to sit.
Yeah, they do not need. I mean,
I
sure.
think they already have a place to sit.
If you want to, in a movie theater, have it so a seat can be removed so someone can sit in between their
Oh yeah,
friends.
like that's where
Absolutely.
it's like a movie theater though, not like a
Oh,
park
yeah, yeah.
bench.
Absolutely. Like, just to be clear. But yeah, like, there are ways to do that with seating, usually indoor seating, where it's like, okay, yeah, I need a place that I can be in between my friends rather than on the edges of, on the periphery of things.
On the edges and the fucking walkway or whatever. Because like in a park, if someone in a wheelchair wants to get off the fucking walkway, they're just gonna wheel over to the side where the benches are and just turn around.
Yeah,
They don't
absolutely.
need a
Yeah. So, yeah, that's
they don't
that
need
kind
the
of shit.
bench.
But yeah,
They're in a wheelchair. They're already seated.
in general, people do have something resembling rights, even in the past, and that applied to a lot of different people. It's also true that a monarch actually did have to think about how people would react to the things they did. Absolute monarchs do not last for very long, at least generally
Yeah,
speaking.
like they kind of because the nobles won't support them either at that point, because like the people in the lands of the nobles will get pissed at the nobles,
Yeah, absolutely.
and then the nobles will get pissed at the king.
Yeah, and the thing is, it is a bug's life. There's a lot more ants than there are grasshoppers.
And like that was known
Yeah,
for a very long time.
yeah,
They understood that.
yeah, like, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, we know this is what's going on. We know we can't actually displease the populace too much. So, minorities were definitely more at risk than in our kind of society now. Granted, they still have a much more risk than they should. But
It's actually kind of weird how uh disabled people have backslid compared to how we were before we were agrarian.
yeah, that's
Which
definitely
is,
true.
it's just really bizarre. Normally you'd expect like at least some upwards trending of like everything from agrarian society to now. But no, there was actually like a downturn for disabled and ill people.
Yeah, because the thing is, you took care of people because even if they were a bit hobbled, they could usually still do work and they were part of your community.
Yeah, so like for those of you who don't like know what the fuck we're talking about, there is archaeological evidence of bones being broken and healed on the skeletons that we find from like 30,000 years ago, which readily shows that they did receive care, because bones don't just heal on their own, and definitely not quick enough for you to not starve to death while your leg is broken.
Yep. So somebody had to take care of your bed-bound ass.
They had to set the bone, they had to bandage you, they had to put a splint on, they had to wash you, help you get to a place to wash at least. They had to bring you food, and you would just like sit there and, well, also be in pain, but do whatever you could with your hands instead. Unless, you fucking broke your arm, in which case you just sort of be fucked.
Yeah, well, you basically...
They would like help you, they would do all the same thing for you, you just wouldn't be able to do as much.
Yeah, like if you broke your arm, then what occurs is you're probably, pulling the plow or something.
With the other hand, yeah. It's like you're like helping people carry spears or whatever around the village.
Yeah, stick a backpack on you, stick what needs to go from point A to point B, and say, all right, get to it.
Yeah, but the point is, though, that like pre-agrarian peoples treated their disabled better than they did 10,000 years ahead of that, right? Which is just weird. It's weird that like you would that sometimes cavemen were better than, not today, but fucking like say Bronze Age peoples. It's just weird. It's bizarre.
Yeah, let's see. The first self-propelled wheelchair was 1655. And a lot of non-self-propelled things existed well before that.
Although a self-propelled wheelchair is not that difficult to make either, people probably just didn't have the fucking idea for it, right?
Yeah, exactly. They just didn't.
Like all you need to do is have a secondary wheel bolted to the outside of the ones that you've already got to control it. That's all you need.
Yeah, I think it's probably they didn't quite figure out exactly the stopping mechanism, like the putting it in park, so to speak.
Well, the early ones, like, you just have to hold on to it, right? That's all it was. There wasn't a brake like we have now.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
because now we have like you can like pull a little lever on either one, and it'll stop that wheel, whichever one you pull it on.
Yeah, let's see. There is evidence all the way back to 525 BC on a Greek vase.
Yeah, and I think there's Chinese evidence of Chinese ones older than that. But I'm not sure.
6th century.
Okay, close enough. Stay in the same ballpark.
Yeah, same ballpark at least. But yeah, so they've come up with ideas. They had accessible, like, ramped ways of getting into certain buildings. Like, and this is this is definitely going to be our ramble thing for the latter half of these, I think. Which is okay, because we wanted a place to talk.
Yeah, this is good, like, information for, like, world building and writing, literary criticism and all that shit anyway.
Yep.
Don't fucking trust anyone that tells you that there were never any accommodations for disabled people in the past. And like, if you were a sickly person as a hunter-gatherer, you would still be taken care of. You just wouldn't be a hunter. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all. You just wouldn't be a hunter.
Yeah, you would just...
And that's fine.
Yeah.
You would be like a shaman or a weaver or like a leather worker or a cook or something.
Yeah, you would... You could also still possibly be in the gatherer category.
Yeah, depending on like where you are. Yeah, you could very easily still like have a basket with you that you'd like, trudge along with the other gatherers and just pick berries off these fucking bushes.
Yeah, and we had a good amount of accessibility in those times because a lot of shit was being made by the community anyway, so it was made for the person to begin with. So... in those cases...
they fucking more accurately measure you.
Yeah, they can more accurately measure you, and they can try and figure out workarounds for whatever shit you've got going on.
Yeah, so, just because it's not modern day, whatever story it is, does not mean that, like, anyone who becomes disabled is going to die immediately. They won't, generally speaking.
And also, do not trust it. Well... at least give a side eye to anyone who goes, oh, magic exists in this world, including healing magic. That means there's no disabled people.
Yeah, which is you can definitely have worlds where there is no disability, at least of that we would think of as disability today, because there's magic, but that requires thinking about how that would happen, right?
Yes, and
How do you have a money-based economy while still having like magic be a thing, magical healing? Is it something that everyone gets regardless of like status?
yeah, like,
Then how do the healers maintain their own lives? Do they get paid for their work? If so, who pays them?
yeah, like you can think about that, but you're making a very leftist society anyway, which a lot of the people making this argument want to avoid leftism.
Yeah, like it's important for you to like if you make a decision like no one ever goes hungry or no one is ever permanently injured or permanently ill or what have you, you need to actually think about how that would happen and what that would do to the society.
Yeah, like, understand capitalism as it exists now exists because of the threat of starvation and exposure. So it will not be a capitalist system as we understand it if you take away the hunger. For
And
example.
of course, like introducing magic as healing current what we currently have as disabilities, missing limbs or non-functional limbs or paralysis or um, general like autoimmune disorders and so on and so forth. Introducing magic that solves those may also introduce new disabilities, such as being unable to use magic or being too resistant to magic to be healed.
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
basically an immune deficiency of a sort.
Yeah, like this. Introducing magic does not solve all disabilities, it introduces new ones, regardless of whether it
Yes.
solves current disabilities.
And if you go, oh, well, there are no trans people because you can just gender shift. No, fuck you.
It's still trans.
I
It's
mean,
still trans.
first off, that is still trans. Second off, not all trans people, for example, not all trans femmes are actually interested in bottom surgery.
Yeah. Which, of course, like you would assume that like it's customizable, right? Like the gender shifting magic
Oh
is
yeah, yeah,
customizable. So
absolutely.
like maybe
But a lot
maybe
of
whatever
people,
spell they use doesn't actually edit everything,
yeah,
and they can only edit what they want to edit, right?
but a lot of people making this argument to essentially eliminate trans people from their world will argue, oh no, you'll get the whole kit because they want to
What if I
eliminate
don't
trans
want the whole
people.
kit?
Yeah, and some people just don't want the whole kit. Some people are non-binary. Yes, hello. I want the top half, not the bottom half. Thank you.
I would like the permanent ability to transfer back and forth whenever the fuck I want.
I mean, yes, but out of the technology we have now, I want the top half. Please and thank you.
Just it's still within my bones the ability to alter my shape at any point in time.
Oh, absolutely. Like, there's a reason I'm a fucking slime. But I think in terms of what I have now, a lot of the time, I don't know if that's just a me thing or what. It's also one of those things like, for me personally, and I understand why other people pursue it, I actually don't care about being misgendered on official documents. For me. I care for
I do. It feels weird. Like it feels weird to even use my legal name on shit.
I care for other
Like
people.
I whenever I have to like make a call to the government, it feels weird to even have to say it. Like I have to think for a couple seconds what my legal name is.
That's fair. And, part of it is probably that where I'm fine with my birth name because it's very easy to lump it into a non binary name on its own.
All right, this is gonna sound mean to everyone else that is not you, but you will get the joke, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a fan of your birth name.
Fair.
We will never be explaining that one. Just ever.
Yes.
That's just a joke for me and Mal.
Yes, that's for us. That's for us. Because, yeah, I'm not going to out my name, especially because I've already outed who I'm cousins with.
Yeah. Have you done that on stream?
Not on our streams, but his streams. I've said hello, and he's given me the VIP status so he doesn't mistake me for somebody else.
Okay, fair enough. It's gotta be weird having a
semi-famous cousin, yeah.
Semi-famous cousin.
Yeah, it's weird, but I'm proud of him, so I do want to check in every now and then. And I figure,
I genuinely can't even see art or fan art of that show without thinking of your cousin.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how do you think I fucking feel?
Especially, you actually know the dude.
Yeah, and it's one of those things I have to be careful because he voices in Boys Love too.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I now understand how that one character that was part of Ainz Algon in Overlord felt.
Oh fuck, dude.
Granted, I've not stumbled upon that because I've been careful, but it's something I do have to keep in mind.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna relax with some nice gay.
Oh
no, that's my cousin's voice.
Yeah. Granted, it's only been a couple so far that he's voiced in, as far as Boys Love, but still.
I did not know that. That makes it so much worse. Holy shit.
Yeah. Because, he'll voice in indie games, and it's like, hey, not going to discriminate. If it works, it works.
Don't want to hear your cousin's voice during that, right?
Yeah, exactly, though. So I have to be careful and check cast lists if I'm listening to something that is in English. Thankfully, a lot of Boys Love is Japanese, so I can just, no-brain that.
Full send.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I'd never actually thought about that before. having someone as a voice actor do stuff like that. That would be so fucking weird.
Yeah. Again, I'm proud of him, and I don't have any problems with him doing it. I just have to be careful.
Sorry, buddy, I want to support your work, but
not that
I don't
much.
think I can listen to my cousin say stuff like that. Sorry.
Yeah, no thank you. The young man I heard doing SpongeBob voices when I was a child. No, thank you. I do not want to hear him do the naughty talk.
It's probably my brain wiring, but I think that would actually be really funny for me specifically. But I think that it probably would not be for anyone else.
Yeah. So I cannot look at art of that show without thinking of my cousin. Thankfully, I'm not bothered by any art that does not contain my cousin's character, though.
I think it's hilarious that he actually ordered a shitty cosplay of his own character.
Oh yeah, absolutely. His sister did the same thing, I believe.
Oh no. That's great. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's real good. It's real good. And it's not even that shitty of a costume either. It's pretty accurate. But it is still a Halloween costume quality materials.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This is like a shitty nylon onesie of the character.
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh, I did want to talk about that one fucking character that I sent you in the DMs earlier. Post stream. I cannot. What the fuck was she from?
Oh gosh,
Unicorn something.
Oh, is this
Something
it?
unicorn?
Oh, is this? Oh, okay, I know. Give me a second. It was unicorn something for sure. Give me a second.
Unicorn Overlord.
Yeah, unicorn overlord.
Berengaria is her name. Berengaria. And like she's just wearing like a it's like a skin suit bodysuit or a skin tight bodysuit.
With
Like it's even
armor
tighter
bits
than
over
Filthy
top.
Frank's.
Yeah.
It's even tighter than Filthy Frank's kind of thing. Like it's the kind that you can only get in fiction. Um,
Yeah.
and her armor is like a metal thong.
Yeah, this is what happens when you let Vanillaware and Atlas work together.
Like it's possibly the most ridiculous outfit I've ever fucking seen on a character. It is so awful.
Yeah.
Like there's not even any fucking padding at all, which is not unusual for these kinds of things. But like there's normally they're not wearing skin tight bodysuits too, right? And usually they're at least wearing like a t-shirt or something.
Yeah, basically it's the amalgam of all the bad ideas.
Yeah, like some of these would be permissible if they weren't in conjunction with everything else.
Yeah, if they weren't in
It's like
conjunction
the
with each
character
other.
designers know what they're doing, but they just decided to make it bad anyway.
Yeah.
It's a kind of bad that you can only get when you know what you're doing. It's purposefully awful. This causes me psychological damage.
Yeah, like, I am showing this to chat for y'all.
One second, let me download it as well and get on my fucking computer instead of on Discord. Berengaria, yeah. Okay, where's my random picture? Here we go. Here you go. Like this is what we're talking about. This character. Look at this thing. Look, this is. Yes, she's pretty. I understand, but oh my gods, look at this.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. Vanillaware, they're known for their cheesecake. They enjoy it. They will have all sorts of things like that. But this is about the worst it gets.
This is fucking abysmal.
So I'm trying to have a look here. And, like, there are characters in this who are fine.
Stop. The heels, the loosely hanging bits of armor on the arms. And like this isn't strictly a complaint. This is just something I've noticed. But there's a combination of European and Japanese armor in this. That's a Japanese. I can't remember what the word in Japanese for it is, but the thigh armor is a Japanese style.
Yeah, like these tiered tiles of armor.
Honestly, I want to say that the shin and calf armor is also a Japanese style.
It might be, but I think it's general enough that, at least from this angle,
like there's only so much you can do with that. There's only so much you can do with that armor place to make it look unique and different style. Like it's just, it's there.
Yeah. But yeah, just I linked you like a group shot, and some of these people are okay.
Notice that it's all the women that have weird shit like this. All the men have normal clothing or armor. And some of the women do too, but it's only women that have fucked up weird shit.
Yeah, except like this berserker character in this other one.
I can't even see him very well. So
give me a second. Let me see if that'll. Nope, that didn't go over right. Cause
what the fuck is an Aviv?
Yeah, that's my fucking question. Give me a second.
Yeah, I can't even open that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Poker, you're getting converted to a PNG.
Like, there's even gaps in her breastplate leading directly to her chest.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine though, because that's not real battle armor. That's a gladiator's armor. That's two Galeris, is what that is.
Yeah,
That's
that's true.
normal for gladiators, and you can tell that he's supposed to be a gladiator by his tarujas, his skirt. He's got this huge girdle with these like strips of fabric that come down, right?
But yeah, it's mainly that, like, let me see if there's even a male spellcaster. Well, there's this priest guy, and he's dressed normally.
And actually, that lancer in the back, that knight with the lance, he's actually wearing like real armor. That's real shit. He's got a surcoat, but like so you can't see the breastplate. But that is a real suit of armor, genuinely.
But yeah, Vanillaware, they like their horny a lot. But this is a bit
The
much, even
farting
for.
on that fucking horse is stupid, but whatever.
But this is a lot even for Vanillaware, because Vanillaware usually just does big titty. Because Vanillaware is known for the Dragon's Crown Sorceress.
That sounds familiar. Hold on. Oh, this is gonna be awful, isn't it? Oh my fucking gods. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so they're known for their titty. So I expect that from a Vanillaware game. It's like, if you're going to go to a Vanillaware game at this point, you're going to expect titty. But this is actually
At
kind
least
of
the
better.
sorceress isn't supposed to be armored.
Yeah,
She's just wearing a fucking like a weird peasant girl slit dress.
she's not meant to be armored. But if you're going to have an armor on a character, you're going to make people think, well, how does this even protect her?
Yeah. It's so fucking like why are there gaps? Like there's these huge fist-sized gaps in the breastplate leading to her rib cage. I don't get it.
The reason they exist, because unfortunately, is to show how the skin tight suit hits that underboob. I'm almost certain
It's
of it.
literally just painted on, but whatever.
Yeah, it's painted on, but that's the thing, is it's just punching a hole so we see more of the titty.
You could just like if you wanted to be sexy with her, you could have her in actual armor some like most of the time, but then like actually just have scenes where she takes the metal off.
Yeah, you do that, and it makes it feel special.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I like people. I like sexy people in sexy skin tight bodysuits. That's nice. I like that. I can't say that I don't. It's hot, but
yeah,
I have problems with it when it's in the middle of a fight.
Yeah,
Because
and
you can claim that it's to distract people all you fucking want, but that's not going to work.
yeah, no,
That's not how that works.
and I don't even
I've
think
talked about it multiple times, but like the adrenaline of like a life or death situation literally shuts that part of your body and brain down.
But yeah,
And of course, it's cross-wired for some people. It sucks for well, actually, maybe it doesn't suck for them. Maybe they enjoy it. I don't know.
oh yeah, actually, here's another fucking example.
That's not me, so I can't say. However, for some people that is cross-wired and like that does happen. I can't deny that, but it's not enough people to justify some shit like this.
That's another fucking example. And you know which one I'm
Oh
talking
yeah, the
about.
big lady in the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. There are very important arteries in your thighs. Cover them the fuck up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know everyone's gonna be like, oh, but the Greeks and the Romans didn't wear armor on their thighs. Yes, they fucking did. Those tarujas were armored. Those skirts were armored. They were leather with metal bolted onto them. They were armored, or at the very least, they weren't fucking naked.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, if you want to hit me with a naked barbarian woman, absolutely.
Yeah, like this bitch looks she's like 7.5 feet tall or more. If you want to show me that and have her big rippling muscles and great thighs all over the place, you can. I'm not gonna say no.
Yeah.
But just not in the middle of a fight. I don't care about that. I'm in the middle of a fight.
I mean, there's that for a start, but I mean, if you want to give me a berserker woman that is mostly unclothed in a Vanillaware game, sure. But this is just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm also like down for if you want to like accurately depict a berserker or like a Pictish warrior that went into battle naked, go ahead. Just know that they use shields.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all that matters. Is they use shields.
Yeah, first off,
that's
they
why
use shields.
You can get away with it.
But that aside, like, even if you're being unrealistic with your battle stuff, this to me isn't sexy. It's ridiculous.
Can you imagine the pinching on like the crease of her thigh and hip?
Yeah.
With that, because that's splint mail. She has a splint mail thong on, more or less.
Yeah.
There's several layers of metal that like have sharp edges and creases and interlocking plates. That's not one solid one like it is for the Berengaria or whatever, however the fuck you say her name. That's
yeah, like, and here's the thing. Look who I'm not complaining about. Her. Because she doesn't have armor on. The blue-haired lady.
Oh yeah,
here.
the girl in the back.
Yeah. I'm not complaining.
Back, I mean, she's in the foreground, but she's the furthest away from everyone else.
Yeah. But she doesn't have armor on for the most part. So I'm not thinking about that.
Yeah, she's probably like a mage or...
Like...
I hate that I thought of this, but she might be an archer.
Maybe, but I think she's a mage because I think that's her staff right here.
Oh, yeah, you're right. No, wait, no, that has a hilt. That might be a sword. She might be a duelist.
Yeah. Either way, she is a speedy
Which also isn't an armored thing.
Yeah,
so.
She's a speedy character who is mostly, if not completely, unarmored. Like, there might be armor underneath this. I don't know. But she's mostly unarmored. And so I'm not thinking about the fact that she's got thigh. Because that's normal. That's boots, thigh, shorts underneath.
Yeah,
with the tunic on top.
Or some shit. Yeah. And if she is a duelist, then that's normal. Rapier duelists do not use armor, generally speaking.
Yeah.
It's by the time rapiers came about and were common for dueling, armor wasn't a big thing.
Yeah. But here, for the very big lady, I'm like, no, I'm thinking about it because she's got armor on. So you can have one or the other. You can have areas exposed in these ways. Like, if you just don't have certain things armored, like, some things just aren't armored, that can happen, but it's usually, like, very small bits. But it's not a fucking bikini and then buckles holding up to a girdle to reach the leg armor. Like, you might have that for stability, but it would be over armor.
Kills me. Shit fucking kills me.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong. Again, I like the cheesecake. I like the horny. I am honestly more permissive of horny than Kat is.
But by far.
By far. And that still irks me. Because it just looks weird. It's not... I think it's one of those...
I am as permissive as you are in terms of, like, what I think is okay, but what I like is much less permissive than you.
Yeah, I think that's probably where the line is. But Basically,
But this is also because like I think a woman like in like 3 inches of steel plate from head to toe is hot as fuck. But I like Spartan ladies.
yeah, I mean, it's one of those. Yes,
I
and
played Noble Six as a woman, and I liked it.
yeah, it's just one of those yes and things for me. Like, yes, that and more.
It's like the fact that the only way that I could tell what gender a given Spartan was by like how wide their hips were was perfect. That's great. That's all I need.
That's actually kind of great, honestly. Oh.
It's just like how fat they butt were. And that's how you could tell in Reach with unless of course like it was one of the like the main characters and they took their helmet off or whatever,
But other than that, and like
the only real difference between like male Noble Six and female Noble Six was just like how big her ass.
but yeah, basically, I think what it does is it crashes up against what I think is fictionally but realistic. Like, sure, some of this shit would be anachronistic or, a lot of things that I
Yeah,
permiss.
you're not gonna find me bitching about anachronisms either.
Yeah,
who gives a shit about anachronisms? It's a fantasy world. It's not the real one.
Yeah,
And now if you had some
anachronistic
historical fiction for me and tried to like give someone plate armor in the 800s, I might be a little bit upset about that one.
Yeah, but if you're doing fantasy and you're not trying to be a period piece,
yeah, go ahead and just like have fucking ship ranging from the early medieval to the late age of sail. Go ahead. I don't care.
Yeah, but basically,
it's fun.
Yeah, basically, some things will just ramp up against believability, even for people who provide a deep suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, like for the most part, I have like no trouble suspending my disbelief on almost anything.
Yeah, you just have to show me and think about it.
When it's martial arts, my big thing, I can suspend my disbelief on how people use their weapons.
Yeah.
I fucking hate people who use their weapons in a reverse grip, but I can suspend my disbelief. Fucking whatever.
Yeah, you can suspend
That's how the author wanted to write the story. Maybe it's a weird technique that's only in that world. I don't know.
Something. But yeah, like, basically, let's use an example most of us who are listening to this would know. You're at a grocery store. Somebody turns into a fucking werewolf and just runs out into the night. You know what you think? That was caught on camera. Because grocery stores have cameras all about it. Especially at the entrance and exits.
Mm-hmm. And like there's those fucking cameras all throughout the entire thing, just like scanning the entire region all the time.
Yeah, absolutely, especially today.
That's what those little black balls are. Those are cameras.
Yes.
And they've got the black ball over it so you can't tell what way the camera is facing at any one time. So you can't find the blind spots.
Yep. So we've got that, but if you tell me, no, that didn't get caught on camera, but you didn't show me why, that's going to hit against my suspension of disbelief because you didn't show me that these cameras were faulty or tell me this was a world that didn't have security cameras for some goddamn reason.
Yeah, or there was some fucking magic that interfered with it or something. Like
yeah, like you can make
there's a reason why it didn't get caught on camera. Why is that?
Yeah, you can make a bunch of different reasons that work.
It just needs a reason, any reason.
Yeah, at least a reason that works, because
yes, anything that's internally consistent at any rate.
And kind of, because Kojima, buddy, just admit you're horny.
Oh yeah, this is one of those. That's one of those things. That's just like, dude, just
admit it.
Just say you wanted a mostly naked woman.
Yeah,
quiet does not need to be half plant. You can just have her.
Yeah,
exist.
Yeah, just literally say yes. You can even say, "Hey, that's one of the reasons," but the main reason is I like pretty ladies. I like pretty ladies without a lot of clothes.
Pretty lady naked, and therefore I like to look at.
Yeah.
That's all you need to say.
Don't be a Kojima, be a Yoko Taro.
Exactly. There you go. So, like, there's this one, and some people will recognize this, some people won't. But there's this one game called Trials in Tainted Space.
Ah, yes.
Yes, the acronym is on purpose. I'm absolutely sure that the person did that acronym on purpose.
Yes, especially since they also did Corruption of Champions.
Yeah.
Which,
so, like, for those of you who don't know, these are porn games.
Yes.
And I don't give a shit about them existing at all. Like, I have no complaints whatsoever. Because it's there to be horny. That's all. It doesn't want anything else. Like, they're not trying to make some weird fucking excuse for it. It's just that people are horny and they want it to be horny. That's it. Done.
And the thing is, Yoko Taro admits, my main reason is horny. But hey, here's all these fucking existential reasons too.
Yeah.
Like, this speaks to the human condition of making these people who do battle into beautiful doll-like figures. But also, I like pretty. And he just straight up admits it, and there's no woke agenda against Yoko Taro.
Because he admits it. He's open about it.
He's open about it. If I open
and also, he's not an awful, weird, misogynistic writer.
Yeah, he's also not an awful, weird, misogynistic writer. He actually writes very interesting women. And in fact, wrote a very interesting intersex character whose reasons for wearing something quite promiscuous was at least had some character trait that I'm like, yeah, I could picture that. Where she did that because she wanted to own her womanhood when a lot of the world would deny it to her.
Yeah, like the reason why I'm okay with, say, for example, in Nier and Drakengard stuff, and not, say, I don't know, Stellar Blade, is because in Nier and Drakengard, they don't put glowing LED heart shapes where their clits are.
There is also that.
Like, that's it. Like, it's just, like, they're just dressed like people with their own reasons to dress like that. It's not anything special.
Yeah.
But, like, design is very much exploitative.
Yeah.
And you can say all you like until you're blue in the face that, yes, this model or that model was used to base, like, all the proportions off of, yes, but the way that she's dressed was not. The way that the camera lingers on certain shots and in certain ways, and how the character moves was not. All right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, don't get me wrong, I do know somebody who enjoyed Stellar Blade, and I'm probably going to play Stellar Blade at some point.
Yeah, like, as far as I know, it's like, it's good, but not groundbreaking, right?
Yeah, like,
fine.
Good, not groundbreaking, and it's doing a crossover with Nier, so I'm gonna get it when it's on PC.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, like, the literal only thing that I don't like about it is just how, like, I don't know how to describe it.
It's specifically...
without using language similar to how you described Nier.
Well...
But go ahead.
The way I would describe it, to an extent, is it is almost like an alien being looked at a woman and didn't understand any of the functions, but went, oh yes, water balloons are shaped like this. That is how the chest work.
Yeah, like, the jiggle physics are weird too.
Yeah, the way, those specific jiggle physics, because, sure, you can have certain jiggle physics, like, Bayonetta has
for example, the jiggle physics in Final Fantasy XIV don't bother me at all. In fact, I try to, like, sometimes I do whip my controller around and just try and, like, look at them a little bit. Just because I find them interesting.
Yeah, because
they are very well done in a very specific way.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can add a little bit of extra jiggle beyond what is normal. You can even add a lot of jiggle, however, but understand there is meat and fat in there.
Yeah. Stellar Blade has the same kind of jiggle physics as Black Desert, which is not a good thing.
Yeah,
Black Deserts is not good. It's very exploitative.
Yeah, no. And I mean, it commits the cardinal sin of having gender locks.
Yeah, there's gender locks for one thing, and secondly, the jiggle physics move even through metal armor,
Yep.
and not even like chain, because you could make an argument for chain. It's not how chain works in real life, but you can make an argument for it, and I'm not going to give you too much guff about it. I will, however, give you guff about fucking plate jiggling.
Yeah, plate jiggling. Like, you're not gonna alter it for the fucking plate armor? But my point being, you can have quite a bit of horny, but if it looks like an alien's interpretation of the human figure, I am gonna question whether you've actually seen a woman move before.
Yeah, it's just like there's just something wrong and weird about how Eve moves. And
Yeah,
that's my problem with it, rather than anything else. Like, I don't think the writing is particularly bad from what I know of it, which is not a lot, but
but yeah, as far as I've seen, like, there's interesting writing in that. There's interesting writing in uh, Nikkei, which is their other game they're known for.
you know, like the biggest thing about it that puts me off Stellar Blade is not even like Eve herself actually. It's like the reaction from the grifters about it.
Oh
Like how
yeah,
she was somehow going to save gaming and everything, and it's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? She looks like a porcelain doll, dude.
yeah, like
It's just some lady.
yeah, she's just
She's not
some
gonna
lady.
save Western gaming or anything. What
She's
the fuck are you on about?
she's a all right character in a all right game, from what I've seen. Like again, it's not breaking any new ground, but it's a decent sci-fi game with good missions. The character is likable from everything I've heard from my friend.
I think actually what might bother me about Eve is how she looks like a pop star, like a K-pop star, which is very much fake. It's very manufactured and fake,
Yeah, like
which is a problem with real K-pop stars too. By the way, this isn't me uh, being weird about like a Korean game or anything, but no, like it's like she's got a perfectly edited face to combine like 3 or 4 different objectifications at once.
yeah, a little bit though. Oddly enough, I think she has a smaller chest than her actual actress.
Yeah.
Because they did a side by side. So it's hard to tell.
I actually like one of the older versions of Eve.
Yeah.
One of the older versions of Eve looks pretty good.
And here's the
Genuinely.
thing is nothing we mention necessarily ruins a game.
Yeah, and it
Necessarily.
just bothers me.
It can be
It's
bothersome.
just annoying.
But it's not like we're saying these games shouldn't exist.
Well, some things shouldn't exist. Black Desert.
Yeah, like there's some things, but that's a lot of problems together that reach that level. It's just one problem doesn't have to do with, being a raging homophobe, transphobe, misogynist, etc.
Yeah. Like
Isn't
the
going
problems
to
I
be
have with the animations of like Stellar Blade, I also have those problems with Final Fantasy 14 too, right? Like
a lot, at least some of those things, because
how for example, the female Makote walk, or how the female Midlanders run. It's
yeah.
mm, no,
And there's actually
no. That's bad.
costumes that at least fix part of the problem.
It's just weird the emphasis they put on her bits for a game that isn't sexual at all. Otherwise,
Yeah, that's the other thing is it kind of fucks with the
like
tone.
it's not
of
a
the
horny
game.
game, right? Like the story isn't horny. It's supposed to be existential.
Yeah, as far as I know, it's again I haven't played it yet just because it's not on PC yet. I do intend to though, so look forward to me talking about the story of that.
Yeah, like do give me a breakdown there.
But as far as I know, she's a very well-meaning person who is just helping out.
Like, is her character like Bayonetta at all, and that she owns the sexiness, or is it's just there?
It's
That's
kind
my real question.
as far as I know, it's just there. But
That
again,
makes it bad sexiness, though. That's the problem.
yeah, the thing that doesn't take it to bad territory to me is she doesn't dislike it.
Like the fact that it's not acknowledged at all is a problem, I think.
Yeah, like it is still kind of a problem, but at least it's not that trope, because fuck that trope.
Yeah, because like the sexiness of like 2B, for example, while it was started and done because Yoko Taro was like, I like sexy lady, there's also like themes to be read out of it, right?
Yeah, he
That
can.
like match up with the themes of the story.
Yeah, and he's willing to kind of call himself out in that regard. Because some of the themes are like, hey, you objectify people.
And then he did it.
And then and to do that, he had to do it. Because it's like, hey, this can get excessive.
Although I will forever remember the moment that I saw a tweet from him when Automata first came out, where he was just like, "There's been a lot of sexy fan art of 2B on the internet. Too much for me to find on my own. Can someone like zip it all up together for me and send it to me?"
Yes.
Like just like, goddamn, dude, you're amazing. I love you.
Yes. Which, by the way, if you want to draw art of me, please do.
If you want to make art of our characters for fucking some reason, I don't know why you would, but in case you do, please do. You have full permission. Go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as you
Just don't put us in sexy positions, please, unless we specifically ask you.
You can put me in sexy positions. Don't put Cat in sexy positions.
Although what I meant there was together, but
Oh yeah, that's fair.
it's not. Just don't, please.
Yeah, that would be a little bit weird.
If you do that, do not show us. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just don't show us. Because we can't actually stop you. We're not going to send a cease and desist notice.
Yeah, just don't show us. That's all.
But, I mean, there's a bunny outfit of me.
Did I ever tell you about that time that someone actually drew like shitty MS Paint with their mouse porn of me?
I think
my avatar specifically, not me in real life. They don't know what I look like in real life. Which actually is just my avatar, by the way. My avatar looks like me.
Yep.
My face and body is a reference for my avatar, or at least the versions of it that I draw. So I didn't send Cappy like images of my face. Send Cappy images of like my avatar, but
yeah, like there's still some things. Face. Yeah, there's some things being taken liberty with using the other references you gave for like hairstyles and stuff. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Which is it's actually kind of funny because Cappy's version does actually look a lot like me.
Yeah, Cappy still did it.
The hairline is a little bit not right, but I did tell them to not use my actual hairline. So, oh hell yeah, there we go. Shill some Cappy for us real quick.
Yeah.
Copy link address. Let's go. There we go. Cappy. Yeah. Go find Cappy. Cappy is great.
Yeah, Cappy is great. They do accept commissions. They're trying to get onto VGen eventually, but you need a code to be a artist on there. Which is
a VGen?
Oh, VGen is a place for commissioning artists. A lot of it's where I'm getting my VTuber avatar. But you can get stuff like logos for your channel layouts, all sorts of things. But they're careful to vet artists to make sure they're not using AI shit or stealing people's work.
Okay. I will look into that later then. Because like I could always use like more places that are for artists.
it is a place for artists. A lot of VTubers, especially indie VTubers, use the place to get art, but it's also a place you can get commissions just for art because you want art.
Yeah, right on.
It's very good about allowing for communication, allowing for you to go, hey, I need a extension, which is something that the artist for my avatar had to ask for just because he was doing exams for university, I think.
Well, yeah, that'll fucking do it.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, no, you take the time you need to do things right. If you need a longer extension than what I get, what's suggested, just let me know if you need another one, and I'll do it.
Yeah. Anyhow, as we were saying, yes, if you want to do art of us, of our characters, our avatars, please do. We will, in fact, be very excited and giddy about it.
Yes, and I am fine with at least cheesecake. I might be a little weird about complete horny.
Like actual smut.
Yeah, I might have to think about
In fact,
that.
I think I might have to agree with you on that. Like cheesecake is fine. Like if you want to do a pinup, go for it.
Yeah. Like
Just
actual.
keep in mind that you don't know what I've got under that shirt, so you know.
Yeah. But for me, give me titty.
Yeah, is it like my avatar doesn't look like I have anything though? This is the thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Which is normal. Which is, by the way, normal for like wearing a button down and a vest like that.
Yeah,
without having like a very large chest, you would not really be able to tell very easily.
Yeah. But yeah, cheesecake. I've already been drawn by Cappy in a bunny outfit for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I do remember that. It was a pretty good piece too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Cappy always just does stellar work, to be honest.
That reminds me, I gotta finish this piece I started of Godslayer Ivana in this one dress that was going around on social media as a like draw your OC in this thing, and it's a really nice dress. Like the thing is though, like Ivana has much bigger tits than I usually draw on my characters.
Oh.
So like I was very much struggling with like making these like skull, like these head-sized fucking boobs on this bitch.
Yeah, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. And yeah, there's a lot of just fan art and things too as well on VGen. It's a great way to get your stuff out there, show your portfolio. And they recently added a feature where if you have a character, like if you're a VTuber like me or have an OC of any kind, you can have art of that you've commissioned of your character all in one place to act as kind of a reference as you go forward.
Hell yeah.
And of course,
it sounds like there's some interesting features on the place. I need to like take a look at it and poke it.
Yeah, like it has a built-in kind of chat messenger for you to talk back and forth with the artist you commissioned or with the person who commissioned you.
On.
You can.
Do you want to continue talking after this? Because I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, you know what? Let's wrap up here and then we'll continue talking after this, just offline, just because we've kind of hit the longer end of these streams and we've gone way off the weeb shit, so we'll talk about the rest.
Okay. In that case, thank you all for joining us. If you look down into the description on Mal's end or in the About section for me, you'll find various links leading to various places. Mal will spew theirs right now.
So on my Twitch channel, it is just my Blue Sky and my Pillow Fort. And for Cat's side,
it's links to my Twitter, my Discord, and my Kara. The Twitter will be getting changed out to Blue Sky eventually. I gotta find a place that will let me for free make consistent image buttons for me to swap it out, which is difficult to do. Actually, it's difficult to find. Normally, it's not quite like the process is not smooth enough to make it easily done. and means like shit gets made in a fucking wonky, uneven way, which pisses me off. Anyway, Kara is my portfolio site. It's my art site. You can go there, see my art. My Blue Sky, however, is just Katagus. At least I think so. It might be Katagus era. Hold on. Let me
It's Katagus, I think.
Okay, yeah, it's just the display name is Katagus era, but the actual handle is just Katagus. And then the Discord is where we talk after the streams. Like, there's plenty of stuff going on in there. There's science talk. There's talk about BattleTech and Warhammer 40k and Elden Ring and Dark Souls and fucking Code Vein. There's TTRPGs. There's even a channel for talking about cars, which I never look into because I don't care.
Yeah.
But if you want to, it's there.
Yeah, there's enough car talk though that it has its own side.
Yeah, which I didn't think was really necessary because like the general chat is not, it's not like stupid active. It wasn't being overflowed by the car talk. But
I think
one of the other administrators of the Discord,
Yeah.
which is my friend Packer, decided that he was just gonna make a car talk. So I fucking
Yeah,
whatever.
I think it was partially done just so they could post pictures as well.
You know, they could have just asked me to remove the damn like link block thing, which I did anyway. Like later, like Rhett was trying to post a fucking GIF, and I was like, "Hold on, I got you," and removed it. Because the reason why I even put it up in the first place is because people like to spam links at the time, which was common on Discord for some reason. Remember, this Discord is 8 years and change old. All right, this is not like a fresh thing that I made. I did make it for streaming, but you know, whatever. Anyhow, so like the Discord usage and culture has changed, and people don't really like spam links anymore like that. So
Yep. So we will catch you all later. We'll see if I feel up to Thursday stream.
hopefully, but if not, there's always Monday.
Yeah, there's always Monday.
Join the Discord. Pictures of cats.
Yes.
Stream.